Well, look at that, 7:30. June 13th, 7:30. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Good evening, everyone. Okay, Keelman. Here. Dudek.
Yeah.
Christie here. Duncan.
Here.
Berger.
Here.
All present. Okay, let's start out with first, we have Rick from High Tech, wanted to talk to you guys, so here he is.
Hi, I'm Rick from High Tech. I just wanted to address the board about any concerns or issues that they may have with us taking over the support contract. There were several things that we discovered in our network analysis with the cabling, moving the servers, the switches, the APs, phones. The list goes on and on. I actually supplied that to the company supervisor. So I just wanted to see where we were with it, to answer any questions to help move it along in the process.
I know one problem was at last meeting we talked about it, or the meeting before, we talked about the server. I know a lot of the board was concerned about having it in the basement because of the moisture down there and, basement stuff going on, typical basement,
So
So I know they were concerned about that idea.
we can locate that anywhere in the building that you want. We just want to put it in a secure location. The
Okay.
issue that our understanding was that we wanted to move
Exactly,
because of
yes.
a noise complaint, so
Okay.
we can move that anywhere we want. The issue, and once we move that, is depending on and try to retrace some of those back to there. You're spending time with us adjusting old lines. That's why we recommended to run new lines to it, especially when we had to put it in the basement. A lot of them weren't going to reach, so we can discuss placing that anywhere else.
So we don't know anywhere, it's like
And when you say about moving it, when you gave us the quote, you gave us a dollar amount for moving it, but we paid for a block of hours.
Yes,
So how, that's like apples to oranges. So we couldn't figure out how would that? I mean, it didn't
yeah,
make
if it
sense
was
to
like
us.
the rates were the
Yeah.
same and all that.
Say that, what was the labor? It was a lot. I don't know if it's like 3,000 or
Remember that
something,
last
but it's
year?
like how many hours? But you should have, we thought it should have said like approximately 10 hours or whatever.
it did have some of the hours on there, and I can pull the quote back up and review them with you.
They've been
What we
too
did is
long.
our normal labor rate is $170 per hour for network pieces. Anything cabling is billed at $90, so it's billed at a lesser rate. Your time block probably is around $150 an hour. So it would be better to you to pay the $90 for any cable movement. Any of the other pieces that would be network, once we move the server and relocating all that, be used off the time block. So that's why it was a little confusing on there. It was just saying, this is what it would be under the one rate, this is what it is up under the secondary rate, and there was mix and match in there.
And then I have another
Okay.
question. We're not really sure what we're getting for what we're paying per month. Like I had a problem Monday, I was trying to do updates on my election laptop and it kept stalling out on me. And when we used to have trouble before, I could call IT right, they would remote in and work on it. I'm a little hesitant now because I don't know, is that part of what we're paying for? Do you remote in and work on stuff? I don't know if you are. I'm not going to just call and have you guys come and do something if it's going to be an additional fee. And then if you could explain the difference between the $458 package and the $583 that we ended up getting. What more are we getting for this?
And you have the paperwork, there's
Right here.
the two that you're looking at, so. So what you end up getting, I believe, Bruce, did you end up getting premium?
Yep.
Mhm.
Okay, so premium has exactly what the pro has, except for it includes actual on-site service. So any on-site service that they have to come out here is included. The pro did not have any on-site service that was included. So that's the difference between the two costs,
So
the only difference.
the only difference? And then
Yes.
the other question is, do you guys like remote in? Like if I finally got it to work. I don't know what I did, but I got it working. Do you guys remote in on that? I used to before an election,
And on a laptop.
yeah, on my laptops
Yeah.
before the election, I'd always have them remote in and just kind of scan everything over.
Every device that's
Fine.
covered on here, so long as it's actually-
I know.
That's
So
what's
you
covered,
would-
so.
But you would be able to remote in and check it out.
Yes.
Okay, I didn't want to do anything till I was sure.
You have 100%, everything's covered here. The only thing that would not be covered is if you purchase actually a new piece of equipment, so a desktop or a notebook. And you actually wanted some work done on the new one. It wouldn't
Okay,
be covered until we actually add it onto it. So any additions is not covered until it's actually on the network.
Okay, I probably needed to.
yeah, I have the server one up right now, and it just says installation labor charges, 2,970. That's all it says. It doesn't say any mileage travel, $18, but it doesn't say anything about like description of like what it is. All it does say 2,970
I
on it.
want to say there was a breakdown, but I think if I look at this quote, because I've got it pulled up on. your
Yeah,
notes.
because I have it up right now and it doesn't show a breakdown to it.
No, I mean, usually in my emails.
Oh, on your, okay,
I can't
okay.
remember exactly on this, but I
Yeah.
can break down any piece on there of what would be time block versus what. would be-
Okay, because that's why we were going off that and we're like, well, so yeah, because it's, it's a big chunk of it,
Yes.
3,000 is a large chunk of that.
Yeah, and typically we don't break it down on there, but we do spell it out when it's actually asked. What is covered, what would be covered under our contract, what would be covered under the labor amount, what would be covered under time block.
Okay.
So I can't update that.
Yeah, I would appreciate that. Yeah, just, because it was a large chunk. And then once again, we were worried about the basement on it. Because I know that's something, we would like to get done, but we want to get it done correctly. We don't want to have, server down in the basement. Now we got to buy a new server because it, whatever, it got too much moisture,
Right.
but yeah.
Other questions with all the other options that we were looking to do?
I don't have it in front of me for all the stuff that they listed that we were.
I
supposed
have
to
it up
done.
here.
But is all of that required to be done? It was,
Do you want me to kind of go
updated
through it a
in
little
network,
bit?
And it was,
Phase one network, okay, the first one we had a problem with, remember, network server security update to servers and users. This would be removing old users, setting up proper password policy and securing access to the network. Estimated labor off of the time block 2 to 16 hours.
But then you.
And we were working,
And then he said it took, in real life, it's gonna be more like 20 hours. Is that right?
What was that?
we're kind of confused about that one. Why does that one take so much work?
When they get it, because they haven't actually gone through and said how long it's gonna take. They just gave me an estimate. of
Okay.
How long it's gonna take. It could take shorter amount of time, it could take a longer amount of time. But if basically, they didn't spend the time. Come through there and say
Okay.
they did their initial network analysis and said, here's the information you wanted to do. Normally, we don't quote a lot of times the hours on this. We would come back and discuss it with you later, which that's what this email was discuss, this is what our estimate that we think we're gonna be between 2 and 6 hours. Because.
Because it's at 2 to 16, so it's just a big
Yeah.
range,
The issue with that is, like I said, the technician, when he explained it to me was. When I get in there, I may find more stuff that I have that are in here that hasn't been done. I'm finding a lot of users that need to be removed, so he said there's a lot more in there than just touching these 10. There may be more additional users, so he said, tell them 2 to 16 hours. It's gonna take at least 2, I think it'll get 16. Later on, he said, well, it could get up to 20 hours, but I felt comfortable with me telling you, tell them 2 to 16.
Yeah. Because our computers, does it matter about the age of the computers too? Because we got new computers. You guys remember when we got new computers? I mean, would have been not that,
Indeed.
5 years ago, like the new desktops. Remember we got all new ones?
They're all different ages.
Yeah.
We had a few chunks.
Are old.
Yours are older, but everybody else's, we got all new ones, I thought, everybody else.
The ones in the building department are newer. Is that correct?
Correct, and Phoebe's and assessing.
Are newer.
Yeah.
So yours are the oldest?
Yeah.
Get out of town.
Yes, those were the oldest. So I mean, if they're not that, does it matter about the age of the computer,
And
you know?
this is new.
Because it would only have whoever
Yeah, it went-
current
So they're all
user,
different ages.
does and it doesn't. On this
Okay.
particular thing, what we're talking about is securing the actual server, not the actual desktops, adjusting some of the things that have to be done. Server.
Okay.
Removing old users. It says they're set up a proper password policy, securing access to
I
network.
guess I'd be, so how many old users would?
That's
be-
what I'm saying. We
That's what
haven't
we're
gone
saying.
through that many.
We're
We've all been here for like ever,
Yeah, it'd be only like building department and, you know, zoning and then a couple of deputies. maybe.
4 people
Yeah,
maybe?
it's not that
I
many.
wanna say it would be Roland.
Yep.
And
And then maybe some of the ordinances, you know,
Yeah.
that's, I didn't think it would be that much.
It'd be different if we were Chesterfield. Right, and people were coming in and out and we had a bunch of revolving door people. We're Columbus Township and there's been nobody here. 20 hours seems like a lot.
I guess the thing that I'm confused on, I thought when we signed up, which we've been with you guys, what, now 6 months? Nothing's happened. And I guess I didn't expect everything to be a cost.
Like an
You
à
know?
la carte menu, yeah.
Yeah. I thought some of this was going to be, okay, now that we're taking over, this is what we're gonna do to get you set up to go
Yes.
through our system.
Yes.
That is exactly what we're doing, is getting you onto.
But I
our
guess
system.
I didn't understand we were gonna have to pay for every single thing. I thought part of it would have been included in $583 a month.
Mhm.
It's one of these issues is when we come into any new customer and we have to fix all their stuff, we can't fix all their stuff for free and then start covering everything. It has to be first fixed and then now be covered.
Hmm.
If that makes sense.
I wish we knew it ahead of time,
Yeah.
you know.
So are you saying we,
1 month,
so we absolutely have to do all this to be covered?
oh. You don't have to do any of it.
Okay.
What we're telling you is
Try to
that
figure
there are
out.
security holes in your network and that these are the improvements. And we went through a phase step of what we thought was the most important, for you to start acting on any of these.
Okay.
They haven't been acted on, so that's why it seems like nothing's been done. Things have still been done where we're doing your patching and your updating and things like this on your servers. But fixing some of this other stuff, where like if you go into phase 2, we're talking about replacing your switch with a managed switch. You still have to switch. Phase 3 is still firewall. We met with the supervisor and discussed with them that that is still good for another year. That before Cisco was actually making it end of life. What that means is that at that point, you would not be able to get support from Cisco or other people because there is no support. But currently, right now, you're not under support anyways from Cisco because it's lapsed. It's just saying right now that you could still call somebody
Mm.
and they could still give you support because it's still a listed product. So like I said, as we go through these steps, there's just little things that have to be done. Obviously, the more important are in phase 1.
What was the total cost estimate on that?
It doesn't show the estimate. It just says 2 to 16 time block has already been purchased.
And a lot of this because you have the time block.
It's just labor, I think. Yeah.
Which that's why we purchased the time block because there was a lot of projects that we had to start doing.
Mm.
So there's several things, that whole list of stuff, we went
Yeah.
over it twice.
It's in the March board meeting. So yeah, if you look back, it's in
Yeah,
March.
there's 7
Yeah.
different steps in there, but some of the things are, like I said, are higher up. Fixing, obviously, the security issues would be the most important. And then, like I said, going into the switch. Firewall,
So
updating those.
my thing would be. It would be easier to digest if it was, 4 hours or 4 to 6 hours, but 2 to 20 is a big spread. So it's kind of like taking your car to a guy and he says, sure, I can work on that for you. It'll be $100 or $2,000, somewhere in there. That's a big spread
Mhm.
to understand.
Yeah.
So I can have them, we'll start working on it for an hour or two. Figuring out how long it's gonna actually take him to breaking that out. But then you're spending an hour or two having him look at it to tell you how long. It's actually.
I would think they would know that. I mean, that's just, maybe it's just me not realizing it. When they came into the network assessment and they went through everything and they said you had, I don't know, 18 old computers that should be removed. And I kind of thought they would know from then, this is kind of our template and this is about a rough estimate of where we will be. Doesn't seem like they estimated very well. Anybody could say 1 to 20 hours. I mean, that's a big spread.
Mhm.
We didn't estimate anything on the original network evaluation.
Okay,
I wasn't actually involved in the first one, so I don't know if we even actually charged you for it. We might have gave you a free one. You know, Bruce, if
I don't know. I just know that there was a network evaluation done and I brought it to the board and it said all these things about what we passed and what we failed and such. And then the board was of the opinion, well, what do we gotta do? Where's the prices? So then I said, we need some estimates written out on some of this stuff. So then I brought estimates back and we reviewed them and it's just not gone anywhere yet. Because I think that there's not a confident feeling of what we need to do and what we can do without and like that.
well, my suggestion would be to start with phase one, and I can get them to give you a set hour on there.
I'm good with that.
And then we can start discussing phase two, phase three,
Right.
phase four, and go through the rest, but phase one was the first thing that we suggested needed to be done. And that's not purchasing any additional hardware, that is just labor time, which you've already purchased the labor.
Right.
So I will tell them to look at it,
So
give you a hard quote.
think about that though, right? So you purchased labor rate at a discounted rate and we went with the high package because it gave us a bunch of hours. And then they say it's anywhere up to 20 hours. So to me, that looks really shady when they say, could be 2 or 20. To me, you're going to bill me 18 automatically. You're going to take, 16 hours additional. I'm not saying that you're crooked and you do that, but that's just the way it looks. So I'd like to have a nice solid estimate that says we're going to be in this range and this is what's included. So it's kind of concrete.
Some of the software, it's really hard to estimate how long it's gonna actually take to do an installation or remove users on there, because usually what happens is that when they find something, it may take them down a rabbit hole where they find other things that they didn't anticipate. I'm gonna have them look at this one.
Okay.
The hours that we do, every engineer that's gets assigned to it there's a ticket created. And it says when it was created, when it's assigned to the person, they actually have to time date stamp it. So when they start working on it, so if they start working on it at 7:30 till 8 o'clock, they're on at 8 o'clock. When they take a break or walk away from their computer, they're documenting all that stuff. If they have to talk to another engineer, that engineer's time is all documented on there. So there's a way.
That's helpful.
Correct.
Yeah, that's good to know.
Say,
Yep.
how long does it actually take them to do? And hey, I noticed that they had 2 users cleaned up, but in the first 2 hours, but it took, 6 hours to do 2 more. It's all justified on there, so you can see what was actually done, who was working on
I'm
it,
good with that.
why it was taken, and any explanation of why there was more or less.
Right.
So you guys think we should do phase one then?
Yeah.
And then early on, you'll try to get us a more solid figure.
I will send something to them tonight to actually look at it and get back to me, so I can send that back over to you.
All right, well, let's start there. And
Yes,
we'll see where that goes and then we'll talk about second phase after that.
and with the server, like I said, we discussed about moving it just next door, which would just took a one line to the next door, or if we were moving the full equipment, but you have some of your equipment in the one room, you have your phone equipment into a different room, so that's why we were trying to consolidate everything into one room. There were some other simple things about moving the AP, running a line. I don't know how well that worked for you, just moving the AP if it gave you more access.
You already did that?
I think they were supposed to come out here and do this.
Oh, I don't know. I don't think anybody. did.
Okay, so maybe didn't get approved. As I said, there was a lot of stuff that was waiting for approval. Just to move that line, so that might have been stuck with the server movement. Okay,
So yeah, let's start at the phase one and
Do we need to make a motion on that?
we can. Take a motion.
Are we waiting to get the solid answer of the estimate, or do you guys just want to go for it?
You feeling lucky?
You're feeling lucky?
Not me.
Oh, okay.
You're the wrong guy to be feeling lucky.
Do you guys just want to wait for a final estimate then?
So
Is that, guys comfortable with that? Or somebody else make a motion, just trying to feel you out.
Yeah, if we say go ahead, we have to either say go ahead and do it or go ahead and give us an estimate. That's why I really think
Yep.
we need to put
Yep.
it in writing.
So you guys
So
should
we
go,
have something to go back and look at.
do we want to go approve a certain worth of hours?
that's a good idea. How about 10? Let's go with 10?
Up to 10.
Yeah, up to 10, if it's, so I'll make a motion that if it is,
If it's
that we
10 or
will,
less, we'll do it.
exactly.
So how do I?
And if not, we will bring it to the next board
how
meeting
do-
for
how do I
discussion.
wanna word this?
So we're gonna say, do
Um,
phase one if it's 10 hours or less.
yep,
Okay,
phase
phase
one,
one.
yep.
How much?
Where am I writing this? Okay.
I'll support.
And then if not, just bring it to the board.
Correct?
Yeah, I'll support.
All in favor?
I,
Aye. Opposed? Carry. And then we'll cross that bridge for number 2 after we see what got going on here.
Any other questions? And I have some concerns about how you get service. You, like I said, Bruce is the main contact and he calls us up. You can call us, you can email us, or you can create do the ticket system to have support from us. If there's something that would be covered under there, we will tell you up front before we do any of the work that this would be an additional charge or under something. So, but normally all your stuff should be covered right now.
thank you very much for coming.
Thank you for your time.
Thank you.
We're all set? Look at that, that wasn't too painful, right?
Next time will be worse.
All right, comments from the community for items not on the agenda. Anybody that would like to speak? Not seeing any, we'll move on. Communications. We got our Comcast.
It's going down.
What?
Yeah, can you believe that?
Just looking at it go down.
For broadcast TV. The stuff you get for free.
Okay, approval of the agenda.
I'll make a motion to approve the agenda.
I'll support. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye, opposed? Carried. Approval of minutes from May 9th. 2023.
Did you not make any changes?
I didn't, I'm sorry.
Oh, fine. All right, I'll make a motion to approve the minutes as presented for the May meeting.
For a second.
I'll second.
Okay, Christie, yes. Uday,
Oh,
Uday,
Yes.
yeah, I didn't get an email on it. Yeah, so yeah.
Duncan,
Yes.
Gilman,
I'll abstain.
excuse me,
I'm gonna abstain, wasn't here.
Berenger,
Oh, yes. Oh, he's abstaining. Okay. I didn't hear that.
carried. Treasurer report. So. Talk to me about, on the very first page,
That bottom one.
281,704.
Well, that's gonna change to 23-24 once we confirm our audit. So it closes out the year. We did that
So this
last
is
year.
because of the audit?
It's not because of the audit. It's like it's like the balance of the 22-23.
Of what was left over that we didn't
Yeah,
spend?
I think so.
Okay,
I think so. If not, just don't,
I get it.
as the auditor, I don't know. I still don't get half these reports anymore. So. But I know that last time, because we should be in 23-24, I know that once I close out the year, once we approve our audit, then it will change to 23-24. But I'll look into that too and kind of confirm. I remember we talked about once I first printed this report, but
Is that some of the ARPA money?
No,
No?
it's not ARPA money, right?
I'll look at it. I'll look and call BSNA. So my weekly call to BSNA. BSNA, so the bottom of the report. But yeah, I'll let you guys know next meeting
Okay.
if I can get a definitive answer on it. But yeah, we did get paid from the county, the delinquent taxes. So we did get that money. Otherwise, I don't know anything really special else. And audit went good too, really good. They said this was like the best they've had for us. So, yep. Yep. Like, they had no problems with anything pretty
But
much.
whatever that issue was, you guys were freaking out about, apparently wasn't a big
For
issue
what issue?
last week. You guys were worried about something wasn't working out for you, but apparently it did.
Oh, my BS, I mean, my bonds from the trust and agency.
Oh,
I figured it out.
Is that what you're talking? Okay.
Because Tracy's doing it different, so the report I have to run this.
But yeah, no, we figured everything flowed. They didn't have any advice to give us. They said it was great, so. They were here for a long time too. We left at 5:45. They've never stayed here that long. They got here at 8, and so they really got their time in, so. It was, you know, we got our money's worth, so that was good.
Motion to file when there's no more questions.
Make a motion to file.
I'll support.
No questions? Dudek,
Yes.
Berenger,
Yes.
Gilman,
Yes.
Christie, yes, Duncan,
Yes.
there's. That register board.
I have two things. I want to bring up. I want to know if we can make Pitney Bowes a post audit item, because they only bill us every 3 months. I got the bill, and of course now it's past due. And I got a late fee now,
How can that happen if they only bill once every 3 months?
because
How can they be late?
here's the bill I got Monday.
Do they email it to us?
Yeah, but then I get in.
But do they
it
still
always
not give
comes
you any
after a
time?
meeting. Yeah, it always comes after our board meeting, so I can't write the check. And now I got a $35 late fee. I called once and they gave us, they took it off.
Right, I
And
know
then he
that, but
called
I
again
mean,
and tried to get them to change the date. They won't.
I know, we had this issue when they were sending it snail mail.
Right.
And
But it
then
doesn't
they
happen.
said if they did them email, we'd get it on time.
We still don't. And this one here that came on Monday. What was Monday? Oh, here, here, this was sent on Tuesday, June 6th. And the due date is June 3rd. So the 6th, it was already after the fact. Because
So they're planning on getting their cut, no matter what.
so if we make it a post audit item, then I can just pay it when it comes in, and then we'll avoid those late fees. Because I don't think we have any other option.
Oh, no, it looks like they want that late fee either way.
Yeah.
And it's not like it changes, right?
It's
It's
the
so
same
it's just
amount every
because,
time.
yeah, so it's not anything that's gonna be different amounts or anything.
Yeah, it's 151.29 every quarter.
Yeah.
So now
And what was the other thing?
and the other thing is, I wanted to talk about, I know we always look at everybody's time cards, and I don't want to offend Mike or anything, but he punched in almost every day this last month, like at 8:30 instead of 9. We're not that busy. We start at 9. And I know when we had other people, we checked their time cards and their punches.
Okay. Well, I mean, he did discuss it with me first, and I told him it was okay.
Well, you didn't tell me that when I questioned that. You told me to bring it up here at the meeting.
Well, yeah, because I mean, if anybody's got an issue with it, I think that
Well, when
it
I
should be
talked,
aired.
but when I talked to you in here the one day, you said, well, if you have a concern, you didn't say I already told him it was okay, because I wouldn't. if
Well,
that was
because
the case,
I think that,
I wouldn't have brought it up then. You
well,
okayed it.
but I think, if you have an issue with it, I think you should bring it up.
I'm just saying, we
I don't wanna it.
recognized everybody else's punches through the over time, so. I'm not
But-
What
trying to
was
be
the
mean.
reasoning to come so early?
Well,
Did
because,
you have a reason, Mike?
yeah, well, I mean,
I think you all know the reason. I had basically 5 ZBA meetings going. I was gone for a week. Okay? We had already discussed about when I come in early because of Matt before he quit. He wanted to run the vacuum, a little bit before everybody got there, not to interrupt the phone service. Okay, I'm conscientious about the work that I have to do. And if somebody has an issue with that, I'll be gladly.
But it is our responsibility to do this, Oh,
Okay.
no, that was rude to say that. That was a little bit too,
You're interrupting me.
that was a little too much though.
Well, then-
You're getting defensive.
Don't interrupt.
You're getting defensive, really.
Yes, I
Relax.
am. Yes, I am.
I'm not coming at you at all aggressively,
You know,
like
I'm
honestly.
hearing about Milking the township and all this other
What?
stuff.
No, nobody
I don't
said
know
I
what
don't need this.
Came from.
Nobody said you
I
were
don't-
milking the.
I had a bunch of work to do.
I don't want
I
to.
wanted to make sure it was done properly, and if I came in early 15 minutes or a half an hour. I'm terribly sorry, but those things had to get done, and I knew I wasn't going to be here. And there's not a month that goes by that I am working the allotted hours that I'm allowed to. I was allowed 90+ hours that month. I worked 77. So if I came in a couple of days earlier, I'm terribly sorry. Okay, out of the 90, 77, that's pretty good.
We don't say you get 90 hours per month. That's never been part of our,
That's what I
Approval.
could be here. That last month, I could have been here 90 hours. If I worked 5 hours every day, the total month, that pay period, I'm talking about a pay period.
okay, yeah.
Okay?
We've
I
never
put in
done it like that
77.
before. Me personally. We do
I mean,
not.
if you guys want to help me. out,
Now you're
I mean,
interrupting, now
I'm
you're
stupid.
interrupting me,
No,
okay?
baby.
So, no, you're interrupting me now, please. Okay, I'm part of the board.
Mhm.
Even though I'm younger than you, I'm still part of the board. You need to respect that, please, okay?
Mhm.
I was not coming at you aggressively at all. It's our right to look at each person without being biased. We have to. I have to look at her deputy. We have to look at you without being biased. We're not doing it to pick and choose, and we shouldn't have to pick and choose. That's us not doing our job correctly then, so don't be offended by this at all. I really don't. So as I was saying, we have not been busy. You may say you've been busy. We have not been busy at all. And I appreciate you taking your work seriously. You do a wonderful job. I appreciate everything you do. You're wonderful. I don't ever want to lose you. I think you're wonderful at your job. But I do think you shouldn't have come in a half an hour early. We do not have the workload.
So who,
And Bruce, you did not tell Angie that you did do that. And Angie wouldn't have presented it if you said, yeah, I gave him the okay. He called me, so I mean, there
Why
was
would-
miscommunication there.
why
you know?
would Bruce have to approve that with anybody?
Why do people need to come? Why do people get to pick and choose their hours?
They don't. If Bruce approved it,
He
Didn't
didn't
work
tell
early.
Angie that, and that was the thing. She asked,
Bruce
she
is the
asked them.
supervisor and
No.
Mike
Brett.
reports to Bruce. And if Bruce decides he wants him to come in a half an hour early or 15 minutes, then it's done.
But here's the thing, Brett. I said to Bruce, why did Mike come in early all these days? I saw on his time card, and Bruce said, I don't know.
He told,
And I
and that's why
said,
she brought it
And he
here.
didn't say, I okayed it. He told me he told.
You know,
him he
so,
could
I mean,
come
she's
in that
not-
Friday, when he came back from vacation, he said, I told him he can come in on Friday to check his emails. Because he told me he was coming in on Friday. And Bruce said that, but I wouldn't have brought it up if Bruce would have said, oh. I told him it
Exactly,
was okay.
yeah.
Well, then I
Because
wouldn't have said
we
anything.
do understand that relationship. We know, we try to stay out of, okay, talk to Bruce, Matt, talk to Bruce, like this is his, he takes care of those piddly
Yeah, he
things,
makes those decisions.
Yeah.
But
But he didn't
I
say
wasn't
that, so that's why
informed of
she
that.
presented it.
So then I say I apologize to Mike because I thought Bruce. was okay.
Exactly, yeah. And I understand if it's so busy at work, but it just hasn't been, it really hasn't
I
been.
would just appreciate if you have an issue with what I'm doing, when I'm coming and when I'm going, where I'm going, what I'm doing it, bring it up to me. I don't like being blindsided because I have a real issue with
But
that.
here's the thing, we were told that Bruce deals with you, so if I don't wanna get in between that.
No.
So she did go to Bruce first.
All I'm saying is somebody should have brought this up to me a long time ago. And we'd have this all resolved. We wouldn't have had to do this
Last week, I mean.
in a public forum.
I found.
Okay,
I did it
because I'm
when
not
I-
gonna sit
I
here
went
and
to do the
critique
paychecks last.
what everybody works. Do I think everybody should be there every day? Darn right I do. Okay, because the people don't come into the township hall to see money.
That was the whole
Okay, they
reason why
come in
we
to
got
see
you.
The treasurer, the assessor, the clerk, the zoning admin. The building guy, okay? Most of the people don't even know I work here. I come in, oh, hi, who are you, blah, 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 blah.
But then why do you need to
And
work
when
an
I
extra
can't
half an
help
hour
them,
then?
That really bothers.
But then why do you have to go an extra half an hour if they don't even come to see you? You know what I mean?
Well-
I just don't see that the workload was that large to come that early, and it's fine. If Bruce approved it, then I'm all done with it. Honestly, that's all we worried about and Bruce didn't.
I know what
convey
time
that to
frame
Angie.
I have inside me to get a particular job done. Okay, and I knew I had to do that to get that done, to get all those ZBA squared away and all that other stuff.
I know how long.
Okay. And I did it. We've had more ZBAs this year than we've had in the last 3 or 4 or 5.
All right, well, let's let this, if it's over, it's done. Can we make?
We just don't, I think Angie's point of view is, it just stinks when people critique when her deputy was coming in. And once again, we can't be picking and choosing. Okay, that's our job, is to not pick and choose. Oh, we don't, because in the past, oh, we don't like Angie, we don't like the deputy. Well, we can't pick and choose. We can't do that. We have to be across the board and be consistent with each employee in, the same way. That's our job. We can't be, oh, I like Mike, but I don't like Angie. We can't do that. So as a board, we need to all have that mindset.
But you're not saying that's what I do, or is that what you're?
No, I'm not. No, I'm just saying that that's the whole reason
And
why
I-
she
and
was
I
doing
wouldn't
that.
know If you would have said that to me last week, well, I told him it was okay
Exactly.
to come in every day. I would have never brought it up because I was just thinking he was doing it on his own. Which if we had anybody else come in and punch extra hours, we would point that out. But if he's got the okay, then there's this end of
Exactly.
discussion.
And no discussion. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Yeah, so can we make a motion though, getting back to my post audit thing, because I'm tired of paying $35 late fee on this Pitney Bowes. Can we make a motion? Can I make a motion to make Pitney Bowes a post audit item?
I'll second the motion. Pitney Bowes.
Berenger?
Yes,
Dillon?
Yes.
Yes.
Do that?
Yes.
Steve? Gary? And what about the whole thing? Are there any more questions on the back here? All these APs are electronic, is that correct?
correct.
Is that right?
Oh, no, not all of them. That means AP means accounts payable.
I'm sorry.
Yeah, you
So
mean
it's just
the,
53 through
Yeah.
56.
yeah, those are.
So totaling 59,929. 0.76.
Did anybody make a motion?
I'll make a motion to approve, the EFTs 53 to 56 And then check number 4033 to 4087.
Totaling 59,000.
929.76.
I'll second this one.
Was that right?
Yeah,
Okay, Duncan. Yes. Okay.
Yes.
Berenger,
Yes.
Billman,
Yes.
Carrie. Ordinance report.
I never heard, oh, the court right there now.
So I guess we talked about this last month. This, where he says, as of this writing, awaiting a response. Does he mean a response from the letter, from the attorney, from us? Did he issue any tickets? Last time he, awaiting a response on the issuance of the ticket here on Crawford Road.
I don't know.
Okay, because we talked
I
about
have-
this last month and you said we didn't understand what he was waiting on.
Right, I mean, they don't need authorization to follow the flow.
Oh, I know that's what you said. And this where he said on the Pike, about the, recycling. So if they came and picked that up, that would be billed to us and then we'd have to put it on their tax bill. Is that how that would work?
It would have to be in the order. Not without court order can I do anything.
Oh, really? Is that how you had to do it the last time you had?
Or that's it, that had to be in the court order, yeah. That's the only way that I've known that we've done it. I mean, I'd have to ask the attorney if there's other ways, but we, you know. That's the last way we did it, so. I can't just, I don't see how I can just put random stuff on.
Oh, I wasn't sure.
so I have questions on that. So he's gonna reach out to Richmond Recycling and GT Recycling.
Who is?
It said Tracy.
Tracy, in the interim, the code enforcement department will be reaching out to the Richmond Recycling and GT Recycling as possible resources to perform the cleanup. Why? Are we that far already? Why are we gonna work hours into doing that when we haven't issued 2 tickets?
We don't even have a judgment in court yet.
Yeah, because
Why are we going that deep into this?
it got postponed because they didn't have representation. But
So
he knew
we're
they,
all in on Fike,
yeah,
but the guy next to the smokehouse,
they were cutting him
there's no
slack.
change on the property and he's working on it, but nothing's happened.
Maybe he's just being proactive.
And
But
the
if,
one at
you know-
Short and Gratiot is completely missing from here. Not even on here this month.
The short road one's not even here.
Can I,
And that's the one he's supposed to be issuing a ticket already. For months. Parks there every day.
I went by the one day when I had to go to a meeting and the mobile home and the trailer, whatever that is, was sitting out there. But here's something. He came in the other day into my office because Bruce had a talk with him and I guess he was trying to get me to side with him because Bruce must have told him something he didn't like. And he proceeded to tell me that we pay $500 a month for ordinance and liquor. Well, in the past, when we had a different liquor inspection person, we were paying, what do we figure, Phoebe, $75 to $100 at the most for liquor, all the liquor inspections total?
I'm sorry, what was your
When we-
question?
When
ma'am?
we were paying like Roland or Wayne to do liquor inspections, what were we
Yeah, it
paying?
wasn't very much.
It wasn't very much. He's paying Brian $75 for each business that he goes to. So he's paying him $75 times 5 because he's going to the winery, the smokehouse, the party store, Bell River Bar and the Roadhouse. So so $775 times 5, that's what, $375. He's deducting that from the $500 we pay him. And he's using the balance of the money, which is what, $125? And that's what he's using to pay for ordinance enforcement to Brian. So like I said, if he's paying Brian $20 an hour, say for ordinance enforcement, that means we're only getting 6 hours a month of ordinance enforcement. And he's paying, we'd be better off paying somebody else to do the liquor inspections, $100. They're up in one straight line.
What a scam.
Yeah, I didn't
We
know
have a
that.
specific amount of hours written that he's supposed to do code enforcement.
Do we?
I
don't
thought that
know.
was in that agreement.
Hello? Can I interject here?
Oh, Tracy.
Yes,
He must
you,
be in the.
you couldn't be more far off on how I pay Brian, okay? What I pay Brian is really none of your business.
But that's what you told me.
No, I never told you that, okay? So here's the deal. We're starting to track how many hours we're spending on each ordinance enforcement, okay? Brian had in excess of 8 hours in one day only, just tracking all of these letters that we've been writing. That's just one day out of an entire month. So Brett, with all due respect, we've got one fifth wheel in one truck on a clean parcel. There's bigger fish to fry in this township, okay? And I am not gonna issue a ticket to that man for one truck and one fifth wheeler. If you want to find somebody, if you want to find,
Wait, I have a question on that then.
yes, okay, go ahead.
You're gonna decide, the board's gonna tell you to issue a ticket and you're gonna decide.
You
not to issue that
cannot order me to issue a ticket. It's not within your purview to do that, okay? I am the zoning administrator and the
You don't
building
get to make
official.
that decision. I'll make that really clear right now. We've had this discussion in the past. You
Okay.
work for the board. You don't work for yourself and run the township your way.
Well,
If
I'm
it's-
telling,
If
okay,
it's something that's not in the, it's in the ordinance, that's not allowed, and the board finds out and you're supposed to follow it, you should follow up on that. You just
Okay.
don't get to suddenly arbitrarily decide, you know, that guy's a nice guy.
I
And hey,
don't even know the man, okay? I do not know the man,
he
Brett.
completely ignored the building permit and he made a trucking lot out of something that was supposed to be a residential property. And he flipped the township off and he parks there every day.
Once again, it's not picking and
We
choosing.
we have not closed the ordinance.
Picking and choosing stuff.
We have not closed the zoning enforcement on that. But I
So we
do
just leave it
believe,
open forever?
hey, if it does get no worse than what it is, I don't see a problem with it, okay? I don't know,
I disagree.
okay, and what is the big offense going on over there, Brett?
It's against the ordinance.
You know
He
how I
deliberately
can go to every house in that township and find something wrong against the ordinance. We have to pick and choose our battles. We're not gonna win that one.
I want that one, that one could be won easily. It's not allowed. He's not allowed to have a camper on a piece of property without a house. And he can't park a semi truck there. It's end of story. Same
But
with the
there's
guy
so many
that
other
owns
things we
Townhouse.
could concentrate our efforts on, okay? So many other things. And then let's talk about the FICA issue. Okay, you want to talk about enforcing. Let me start over here. We are going, I've already made contact with Richmond Recycling to give us a cost estimate to clean that property up. There's over 100 scrap vehicles on that property with sea containers, tires and everything. That's where we should be concentrating our efforts. If we get a win there, we've succeeded greatly.
That doesn't mean you can't continue working on other issues.
I'm running out of hours, okay? $500. And irregardless of what I pay Brian to do the liquor inspections, $500 is not that many hours in the township per month.
I have to go off of what Bruce said. I mean, he talked to the attorney about once a situation is brought to our attention, we can't ignore it, you know. Cause that kind of has instilled on me now, you know, and as I was saying, you know, about the payroll, we can't be like, oh, yeah, you're fine, you know, we can't pick and choose. We have to be, you know, it's our view to talk, look at everybody the same, you know. And if it's a violation, it's already reported, it's already on there, we can't ignore it.
We probably got 20 to 25 violations open.
I
And
understand, but then shouldn't that one
okay.
be an easy fix too? You know, I mean, it's only two,
There,
you know what I mean?
there is no easy fixes when it comes to enforcement.
I
The guy,
do
the guy
understand
will,
that.
the guy will dig his
It's better
heels
than
in.
Fikey, you know, I mean, it's something that boom, boom, gone, you know?
He will
So,
dig his heels in and it
Yeah.
will wind up going to court. And it'll cost the township more attorney fees to get rid of one truck and one trailer. I think the money for the township is better spent going after Fikey. After we get a win there, then we go after Markle.
but also it's
Marvel's never
the,
gonna happen.
it is also the board's, it's the board's job to see what we do with the money. That's our responsibility, you know, it's not your responsibility. We're the
Well,
ones that.
Well, I
keep track
thought it
of-
was I thought this was a team effort, Phoebe.
And I do,
Okay.
I know it
All right.
is, you know, but you still have to respect the board's decision.
Well, I do respect the board,
You know,
but
it's like a parent, you know, your kids don't always understand why you're saying that, but you still gotta do it because, you know, it's just, it's our jobs, you know, and that's. And you may not agree with us, but if the board feels that way, you just gotta go that way, you know? And if it's following the book, then we're within our realm to say this, you know?
all right, you know, I'll write a ticket tomorrow then. Will that be all right, Brett?
Yeah,
Okay,
absolutely.
okay.
I don't know what else to
Since
say.
you're on there. let me
Yeah,
ask
I'm-
you,
go ahead.
like these ones that say,
Still waiting for a response.
yeah, waiting for, are we waiting for a response from the board or from me or from the customer or the resident?
Can you give me a particular address and read what?
9185 Crawford.
9185 Crawford, a ticket will be issued, awaiting responses on issuance of ticket.
Okay,
As
so,
of this writing, the report still awaiting response.
so every letter that's sent out, whether it's a 30-day letter, a 10-day letter, or a 5-day letter followed up by a ticket, has a lag time, and it's either gonna be 30 days, 10 days, or 5 days. That's what that means, probably.
So we're
Yes.
awaiting response from the resident.
Right, if they don't, if the one in Crawford, I don't recall the address, this is the one that was burning
I
copper.
It's the animal hoarder, yep.
Just picked one, yeah.
Yeah, this
Yeah.
one says on that Crawford, it says resident given 10 days notice to comply. For
Yes.
communication back if more time is needed. Second reinspection to be scheduled for the middle of March. No response. Third reinspection indicated there was no movement. So you've already been there 3 times on that. So I guess I don't understand what you're waiting for. Because you said your 10-day.
Okay, so you might as well just have your attorney move right into that office, because that's what it's gonna take. We send out these letters, we get a little movement. The guy, the hoarder guy on Crawford with the chickens on the ridge, remember that one, Brett, or Bruce?
Yeah.
He made some progress, okay? If we see progress, that puts the thing on hold. There's no way, it took 20 years to screw up that property. He's not gonna get it cleaned up inside of four months.
Oh, he just moved in, so yeah, that's all new.
That's all new. He brought all that trash
He's been
in.
there 3 or 4 years,
Okay, so,
and all that
And-
stuff he's dumping on the corner, the bricks and the garbage that he just dumps and sticks and yep. Every day he's bringing stuff in. And if he can, he'll throw it in that burner and cook it.
I think we curtailed the actual burning of things. But you're talking about his boiler, his wood boiler.
Correct.
You know,
Correct.
he was burning copper wire at one point in time. I was out there doing an inspection on a new home when he had a hellacious black fire going.
Doesn't Justin help relieve some of this?
He
'Cause
does,
isn't
but
his-
you-
You know
you
what
fo-
I mean?
you-
You know, to do the letters and, you know, cause it should be, you know, at least he can do the.
We
the
can
dirty
send letters till we're
paperwork.
blue in the face. These people will
Yeah.
not respond. We'll send tickets. and we'll take him to court, and even then, nothing will happen. Ed Ream's a good case in point. We had him in court, got a judgment against him. He's right back doing the same thing he used to do.
Well,
Yeah.
this 19185 Crawford, this has been a mess forever. This guy actually went to the ZBA to get a variance to put
He
an
did.
addition on his house, and you guys said at the meeting, how are you gonna do that? You're gonna have to clean some of that garbage up. And
I-
you guys gave him the variance, but then COVID happened and he lost his job, and he called me up and he said he needed an extension. And then we told him he had a year. So of course now it's been well over a year, so that variance went away. But, so this has been 3 years at least, because I know you guys did that maybe in 19 or early 20, right,
Well,
Stan? Well, I guess the problem is we feel discouraged that we're paying this money, we're getting. You say you're working at all of these. I think if we had one successful outcome, we'd all feel a lot better that we're spending our money. We get so many people complaining and saying, would you want to live next door to that? And I get what they're saying, because no, I would not. I'm lucky. I have neighbors that keep their property up.
There is a lot of open cases.
There is, and there's probably many more I can open.
Yeah.
But I'm trying to be conscious of the money being spent in code enforcement. You might think $500 is a lot of money, but it's not as much as you think.
But I do know if we do not keep pursuing it, then they'll keep, then they,
Oh, yeah.
then they keep
we-
doing what they want. It's something that we have to, once we do it, we have to stay on it, of course. But I do know it's a slow process. I've heard from many people that ordinance work, it's a slow process to do something, in the township, but it doesn't mean we should give up.
Well, I'm not giving up.
Yeah.
I just need the support of the board to pick and choose battles we could and should win.
Well, I don't know.
But we're picking Merkel. You couldn't
Yeah.
pick a bigger, that's like picking a whale. Good God.
Yeah, but if we get that win, everybody that drives through the township up and down Gratiot will see the place getting cleaned up. And as you turn off onto your gravel road, it may entice people to clean up their own property. I'm not saying that'll happen, Brett, but that's my thought process. You start cleaning up your garage, your neighbor starts cleaning up their garage type of thing.
I just know this, Marcos is. almost
We're ahead to wait
insur-
that one out.
Yeah,
Eventually-
how long is that? That's been 30 years, easily 30 years, maybe.
Eventually, someone will pass away, and then the family will say they want to clean that up, and it'll all be handled, and we won't have to get into it.
These hoarding people, it's a generational thing. And that's the reason I'm trying to use this code book right here. Let's see if I can see it. The International Property Maintenance Code has a little tidbit in there that does not allow the transfer of property when there's an open violation.
That was a good find, because you can't transfer the property if there's violations. That's a good thing to have
Well,
against.
Fikey, case in point, well, God bless Mrs. Fikey, but she's not gonna live forever. And the person that brought in the garbage is probably the one that will inherit the property. So that will never get cleaned up unless we can use
Except-
this.
Except that, if they don't do a property transfer, we'll never know, because this one you have that's on Warner, this, Tom one, he's been dead for 5 years maybe, and his wife's been dead for probably 4.5. It's the daughter living there. But obviously they never put the house, transferred the title into her name.
Yeah, so I don't know these people's names like you folks do. I don't live there and I haven't. I do know that Brian has issued a ticket to the guy living in the trailer on the weekends south of the liquor store there. Okay, but every time we write a ticket, just know there's a cost associated with it. As far as I have to be the one to go issue it to the 72nd District Court. And I do that on my own because I'm driving by the courthouse daily. But sooner or later, our attorney's going to get involved, and that's when the dollars start racking up. So that's what I'm saying. We should be kind of choosy, figuring out where our money's best spent.
But I guess the point that you're missing is some of these, if you would have got on them sooner, that were minor violations, maybe they wouldn't continue to grow or get worse.
That's the reason I'm leaving the one over on Short and Gratiot. I'm not even sure what address that is, with the guy with the 1/5 wheel in the truck. I haven't closed that, and I told the guy I'm monitoring it. If I see debris start building up, it will be a problem.
But then you gotta babysit it, you know,
Well, it's not even
Yeah.
babysitting it. We're allowing him to have a commercial
and yes, that too, you know, but
truck parking facility where he was supposed to build a house. He deliberately pulled a permit to build a home,
To get an address.
to get an address, punched a parking lot or a driveway from Short to Gratiot, built a berm all the way around the property and never built the house,
Mhm.
just so he can park that truck there. Parks his garbage out at the road every week. Sure, we don't charge him for garbage.
Probably not, nope.
Oh, 'cause there's no house.
Didn't we,
No, there's no
Yeah.
house.
but I thought we.
No, I've
notified of that
Phoebe and I have
somehow.
had this discussion already. Every property pays garbage to pick up whether there's a house or not, right?
No,
Right, Phoebe?
no,
That's
No, they
not
do
true.
not.
Phoebe,
No.
well then, why don't we call, I've asked this before, why not call I can't even think of the garbage hauling company, Marcotte, have them stop picking stuff up there.
They should know that. They have notified us for, even for businesses. Remember, they did it for the old elevator, you know, I remember they did that recently.
Or-
Yeah, so I don't-
Or you charge them for garbage pickup because they've been getting, you can't.
We shouldn't, we
Yeah.
don't want to do that because
Because
then
the
we're
only
allowing
way-
them.
We're only charging for garbage once the house gets a CFO.
Yeah.
Okay, well then, he's getting free garbage pickup. We need to cease that.
Marcotte,
Brett, if you want to shoot me an email, I'm all ears. I'll listen to anything you got to say about getting this guy with the commercial trucking operation in order.
Seems simple. I mean, it's simple. Move the truck out. Camper can't be there and the truck can't be there.
You think I haven't told him that already? But
Right, pull it out or go to court. Start
Okay,
getting them where the pocket hurts.
I'll issue a ticket this week then, okay, Brett?
Yep.
All right,
thank you, Tracy.
you're welcome. While you got me on the phone, you want to talk about anything else?
I got nothing.
Okay. Have a good meeting.
Oh, yeah. All right.
So there's no more questions on this?
Listen for now.
Motion to file?
I'll make a motion to file.
I'll second the motion.
Yes. Uday,
Yes.
Gilman,
No.
Duncan,
Yes.
Berenger,
Yes.
the monthly assessing report. Motion to file?
I'll make a motion to file the assessor report.
Duncan,
Yes.
Berenger,
Yes.
Gilman,
Yes.
Uday,
Yes.
Christie, yes. Carried. All right, next is ZBA pay. I put page 5 of the February 8th, 2022 meeting minutes in here. So here's the issue. You can read the motion that was made and then I can't tell you if that is represented correctly of how it happened or not. But my understanding at the time, and my understanding still was that, the board, the ZBA board was concerned about having two meetings about the same issue on the same night
2 hearings during one night, right? You're saying?
of the same issue. Like say
Oh,
that
yeah,
they were
okay.
both
The
a
same
barn
issue.
that wanted a 15-foot variance or something. And they were afraid that the second guy was gonna learn from the first guy how to get over on the board to get what they wanted. That, in a nutshell, was my understanding of what their problem was. But as it turns out, it's all about the money. And so this came back up as soon as the meeting got adjourned on the April.
Oh, there's no one that
6th.
got tabled.
The one that got tabled, as soon as they got tabled, then they right away started talking about getting paid twice. And I said, that's not gonna happen. And so since then, there, Mike scheduled, 2 meetings on the same night. And, so then there was all this talk about, are we getting paid twice? Are we getting paid twice? And it was all about the money thing. And then I was even threatened with this entire board will walk and let's see you try and fill it.
Okay,
Well, so I see what it says here, and if they get paid twice, they get paid twice. But when it was all told that it was all about not wanting 2 of the same meetings in the first place, and then it turns out to be all about the money, that kind of makes me mad. And then to be threatened with we're all gonna walk and I hate that. So I said I would not make that decision. I would not even make a call on whether they get paid or not. That I would bring it to the board and let them decide.
so
And so the whole thing here is, what does that mean, what it says there? And then as soon as you decide what that means, then I want to go on and say a few more things.
okay, I have a couple things. Mike, I know you, when you did it, you did them both in one meeting, because we decided that was silly to try to do one at 7:30, one at 8:30. It doesn't even make sense. And
Are we talking about the tabled one and then a
yeah,
new
but
one?
now the
So
one he
those two?
scheduled, that's next week. There's 2, correct?
That's 2 new
Like
ones.
2 new
There's
ones.
There's
Correct.
the one that you guys are talking about that had the 2, the original one that had the 2. When I set that up, there was plenty of time to put the notice in the voice. I didn't know there was a 1 meeting, 2 meeting pay issue, okay, because that's out of my jurisdiction. So I scheduled 2 because it fit within the time frame of notification and when the folks on the board could make it.
And that
So
makes
2
sense.
happened, then the pay issue came up. They tabled 1, so that brought 2 to the next one. Okay, they had,
Oh.
finished up the first one and then they had, that was on May 16th. Now, the one that's coming up this month has 2 again. Okay. And the one I'm working on for July now only has, at this point in time, 1. But if there's another one that comes into play before the 28th of June, which is my notification deadline, for the voice, we could have 2, we could have 3, it could be,
Well, and
and if whatever you folks decide, if you want to have 1, 1, 2, just let me know. And then I can send notices out to the board members. Can you make it a different day? Or we're gonna do this, whatever you guys decide, just let me know.
here's the thing. I know we talked about this several times over the years.
Yep.
About having, and the MTA said you can have 10 hearings in 1 meeting. You don't go 1 hearing per meeting. And we discussed this, and there was that big hoopla, you're right, because that's why they said they should have got paid $100, but they only had one hearing. But when we sign this salary fiscal policy sheet, we sign this and it says right on here, per meeting, not per hearing, it's per meeting. And there's no reason that he can't schedule 2 or 3 or 4, whatever. You're not gonna make people wait 6 months to get a ZBA hearing because we only can do 1 per meeting.
The
And
only
then-
other way to do it would be to schedule it on Tuesday and then schedule one on Wednesday and then schedule one on
And then good
Thursday.
luck. So people are gonna wanna come 3 nights in a row. And it's not fair to the residents. And I said this before, we're not here to make money for the ZBA. We're here to make money to help our residents get what they need. And somebody wrote, oh, like I was reading the other notes about getting paid on a monthly basis for the ZBA because people take these jobs to help pay bills. Well, let's be realistic. $60 isn't gonna pay a whole heck of a lot of bills. But if they want to walk out, a township with under 5,000 in population, this is the ZBA bylaws, it only has to have 3 regular members appointed by the township. The first regular member can be a member of the Township Zoning Commission or the Planning Commission. The second person can be a representative of the township board. So that would mean Planning Commission, board member, you'd only need 1 other person and you could still run the ZBA. I don't agree with you. I don't think people should be threatening us to force us to give them something when that's what this isn't. This is not about this. This is about the residents.
So my thought on it was, I thought we agreed that they were getting paid per meeting, meaning per case, not per meeting.
Correct.
Is the way I thought it was.
Okay.
Right? So we're charging the residents the same amount, whether there's 1 meeting or 5 meetings. But we only pay them one
Money.
time.
Ask Mike, he figured it
I
out the other
put
day.
numbers together.
He figured it out the
And
other
just
day.
roughly, it costs the township between my wages, what they pay all the whole group, postage, all the et cetera, about $500.
Yeah,
I mean, just what they make per meeting is a little over 300. So, and the postage alone is close to 20.
and what was that last notice, like 140?
And then the newspaper notice was 140.
Yeah.
And this is all the reason why I put a couple of extra hours in at the beginning of the morning last month, because all this stuff was backing up.
So the question, if you think they get paid per hearing,
Because that is,
okay, so here's what I say.
But it said right here, Angie looked into it and they get paid by meeting.
Yeah.
It said that.
And we
so I think that
also
was the
looked at
whole.
that in our fiscal policy sheet. And if we want to
Pay
make,
ZB members per meeting with only 1 hearing per
so
meeting.
if we're gonna pay them per hearing up until today, I want to make a motion that a ZBA meeting can have as many hearings as deemed necessary and they get paid per meeting. Because.
But you've got it in here. It says they also thought they should be paid by hearing, not meeting. Clerk said she called the MTA and was told that they were to be paid by meeting. Motion Behringer, support Kilman to pay the ZBA members per meeting and to have 1 hearing per meeting.
Because that's when.
So that means if there's 2, they get paid twice.
Right, but that's because, like Bruce said, they originally made it sound like they were concerned.
No,
about
they had nothing to do with what the variance request was. That was not part of the motion, that if they're opposite type of variance requests, then we'll schedule them the same night. We never talked about that.
I thought
It's
you said
ridiculous.
something, saying, I thought you said that it was
Yeah.
uncomfortable for you.
It's hard enough to
Yeah.
get people to volunteer and to take these positions. And they're under the assumption that they're gonna get compensated for doing their work for each case and doing their homework on this. You agreed to it back in February 8th in 2022. It's right here. 1 hearing per meeting. Now you're gonna change the rules in the middle of it.
It's not in the middle of anything.
Sure it is.
Fiscal policy, we said per meeting. And the thing is, if we think we need to change something, we just did today with the post audit with the Pitney Bowes. If we see something come up and we feel that we need to change it, well,
Well-
it's at the point of us being here.
So how do you deal with the one where they postponed, where they tabled the meeting?
The tabled one, I understand that. We shouldn't be compensated for that.
Right.
And,
Get paid for one. not
right,
two.
we got paid for that meeting. And it-
Okay.
Remember, Bruce,
Yeah.
when we left that meeting after it was tabled, you said you're not getting paid for that tabled meeting coming up. We never questioned
did.
whether or not we were getting paid. Now,
I
if
didn't.
you want to go.
That's not true. That is not
It
true.
is
People did
absolutely
question it.
true. And number two, MTA did not say that you could not do it the way we want it. They said it was a board decision. And I have the email to show you that. And if you, Angie, said that we were not going to get paid for hearing, go back and look at my paycheck. You paid for each hearing in 2022.
Because that's what we voted, but
So
now.
now that carries over from last year to this year. And
we have the ability to
in going
change things.
forward, I did not
Mhm.
want with this meeting coming up, because one of my board members asked me how we were getting paid. So immediately before I gave my answer, just to make sure I was not lying, I called Bruce and he immediately said no, that we were getting paid per meeting, not hearing. And so I went back and I looked at the video. I went back and copied the minutes and I went back and looked at my paycheck. I don't see how you can disagree with anything that
We're
I'm
not
putting
disagreeing.
forward.
We're not disagreeing, but we can change things moving forward. Just
why
because
would
we
we?
decide something 10 years ago doesn't mean we can't change. I mean, think about it. That's unrealistic to never change. We
For
change
what-
fees.
For what reason would you not agree to pay for all the time that we put into this? Why would you not agree to pay us per hearing instead of meeting?
I guess the thing that bothers me the most about this is when I hear that you threatened and told Bruce. that you would
Nobody
walk out.
threatened anybody. Nobody
would walk
threatened
out.
anybody.
So you're gonna say right now that you didn't tell me the whole board was gonna walk and
I
good luck filling those seats?
said, I will not work the rest of the year if I'm only gonna get paid for 50% of my work. I do not speak for the rest of my coworkers.
Oh
I
my
speak for
God.
me.
You absolutely told me you speak for the entire board.
Oh, yes, you're right. You're right. I am not only speaking for my pay, I'm speaking for the entire board. They questioned me as the chair as how we were getting paid. They could have asked you, and then I wouldn't have been the one that's put in the middle of this. But when I get put in the middle of something, there's certain people here that never agree to anything that I want.
So here's the issue. If this reads what it reads and it says what it says, and we're going to abide by that, then we have to decide how, whenever there's a tabled one and it creates two in the same evening, how do we deal with that? Do we pay on two or do we not pay on two?
No,
Then there's also
no,
the issue-
not on a
Shush!
table.
Shush!
Not on a table.
I'm gonna mute you. I'm trying to talk here. All right, so we have to decide that. Then we have to decide, what about the residents? Do we just push them off or do we make them do two in one night? Or do we make them do one night after the other? I mean, how do you deal with that?
I don't see any problem with having two in one night. 15-minute break in between or something and another meeting, big deal.
How do large communities do it, you
They do
know,
them all in one meeting.
You know, I mean, 'cause
when
I'm sure they got
Lynn Houston, I
piles.
talked to her.
you know?
And she was on the ZB, and she was the secretary for the ZBA in St. Clair. She said sometimes they'd have 7 or 8 in one night.
And I bet you she didn't get paid $60 for that.
She only got paid for the hour.
There's
They
no
got
way.
paid for the meeting they were at.
Yeah, they
And
got
I've
paid
talked to
more
the
than $60
MTA.
if they were doing 8 a night.
Well, I don't know what they pay over those places, but I'm just saying that,
If you have to do the background and the legwork and go out and visit a site and do all the extra work,
okay,
$60 a meeting isn't that big a deal.
okay. And I'm gonna say this. I know Diane Cooper, and she will do that. I don't know about the rest of them. Oh, I don't know about you, Stan. I don't know what you do. I'm not counting you in there. I'm just saying,
So anyways, that's their
You're
job. That's what
assuming-
they're expected to do.
And- Right, and I'm not saying they shouldn't be
Right.
paid. I just said I wasn't gonna make that decision.
Right, my assumption was we were paying them $60 per meeting. I thought
And
that's what
that's
this
why
was.
I wanted to find out is what this. Your translation of what this means, are the minutes correct? Is that the way we're doing it?
But I thought we've done it
But
before
I
for,
agree, if we table something and it gets shoved to another meeting.
yeah, that's.
You get
guys
paid
should
till it's
get
complete.
paid.
Hey,
But
Bruce,
I
Bruce, this
thought-
is Matt Case. Can I say
Hold on.
something?
Hold
You
on,
can.
can you just hold on
All right,
one
one
moment?
second,
Yes,
let
thank you.
Katie say.
So, but we've done it before where we did have 2 meetings on one day and there was like a half an hour break in between time.
yeah, so
Correct.
then
So I mean,
Michael
why-
just, Michael
you know,
just have to change the notice. to
It would
make
just, it's just a
this one's
different
at
time,
7:30,
you
this
know,
one's at 8:30 or something.
Yeah.
I think that would be the way to do it. or
because I thought we
7
were
and
just
8.
gonna go that route to make everybody happy, you know, so, and you get your time
That's
in,
what I
you
did
know,
last year.
and that's what yeah, exactly.
that's-
But there was an issue with that. You guys didn't like that plan when I did that last year.
I still don't, but, I understand what.
To me, nobody's gonna be happy, not everybody's gonna be happy with this, so we just gotta.
Mike, you
Oh.
were-
All right, Matt, go ahead.
I just wanted to clarify something there. So the meeting back in April, that hearing was held. So there wouldn't have been pay for that again in May. That pay would have only been for that meeting at that one time. So there weren't 2 hearings in May. It was just 1 hearing in May. Just to be clear.
Okay.
And, and I told you, Bruce, in my email, that the way I read those minutes, it definitely says that they're paid by the meeting, but then by saying that there's only going to be 1 hearing per meeting, that in effect is
Correct.
saying that you're paid by each hearing.
Right, that's why we did it that way, because we were supposed to break it up. There was supposed to be 1 meeting and then a break and then another meeting.
So.
In case there was a
And-
conflict
and-
for 2 people with a
Yeah,
full.
and make everybody happy, yeah.
And I will agree with what Angie said, that the township board can clearly change its policy, but by scheduling 2 meetings or 2 hearings at 1 meeting, that's a clear violation of the action taken by the board last year.
So we'll just have to do like a time change or something,
Oh, I don't think.
you know, is that in the
No, because
notice?
Because the May. Oh, no, maybe
Not May.
Do they want to devote a certain amount of time in the event we have 2?
You can't do that.
Okay, so then I could put like 7:30, 8:30, I could put
Yeah,
I think
7:30,
that's
then
what it should
verbiage
do.
saying that following the 7:30
Yeah.
meeting.
Yeah, 15 minutes immediately
You know,
following
there'll be a
the first
recess,
meeting.
15 minutes or a half hour, then
Mike,
begin the second one.
Mike, you would have to put an actual time because of the Open Meetings Act. You've got to have a time. So if somebody wanted to come and protest the second one or agree with the second one, they got to know what time.
Well,
it
that's
starts.
why I asked, I can put a time frame in
You're
there,
gonna
I can put whatever you want in there.
I think you're gonna have to put a time, and you can't give them too short of a time frame because that one you guys had, you were here like an hour, weren't you, Stan?
I think the only way to do it is to say
Or separate nights?
15 minutes following the other meeting. If this one starts at 7:30. Right? We don't know if it's gonna go till 8:30 or 10 minutes to 8,
Exactly.
right?
Exactly.
Because,
But you have-
because if you're in there, in and out of there quick, if they did their job where they would go do what they're supposed to do ahead of time and then listen to what the resident has to say, there shouldn't be 45 minutes of sitting there hemming and hawing about it. There should just be make the decision and move on.
But just know that everybody's gonna be there for that beginning time then, you know, because since there's not a set time for
So
the
they're-
second one,
The whole thing.
you know.
Well,
They may feel, they may feel uncomfortable. You know, being a part of what's going on in the first one.
Well, there's nothing we can do about it.
And then again, Bruce.
If you if you put them both at 7:30 like you just did, they're sitting there waiting anyhow.
But then if he made two definite times, because this goes back to what you were saying about not wanting two variances that are for the same thing, a 30 down to 20 or whatever. If they both are asking for that and they're both on the night he schedules, then,
I thought that was a ridiculous argument anyhow.
well, I agree, but that was one of their concerns. I don't know if it would be better to do two separate times. And I know
Oh,
I'm gonna offend everybody when I say this, but the ZBA's job is to say yes or no, or as Mike put it the other day, thumbs up, thumbs down, and no, why don't you try this? Why don't you do this? Have you thought about this? Because that is not the job of the ZBA. It's a decision. No, you can't do that. Yes, you can do it. We're not giving you a variance for something you didn't ask for, but people are getting variances for things they didn't ask for, which is not correct.
Hey, Bruce, I know I'm not on the board, but my 2 cents is schedule one for 7:30 and the other one at 7:45 or 8 o'clock.
Exactly.
You would have to do 8 because you don't know how long it would
right.
last.
Well, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter because as Bruce mentioned, that if you had
You're gonna be
two
sitting there.
scheduled for 7:30, they're all going to be there. So it really doesn't matter if others come in a little bit later for their second hearing.
I agree. And when you go to the doctor, you got a 1 o'clock appointment, you sit there till 3 anyhow.
But you're not listening to their appointment.
Oh, this hurts and that hurts, yeah.
Whatever.
Can I ask Matt a question while he's on here?
Ask Matt a
It has
question.
to do with, did a real estate lady get a hold of you today, Matt?
No?
I gave her your phone number, because I didn't have Joe Tangari's, that meeting on the
Meeting on July 6th is not gonna happen.
on July 6th, it can't happen because the folks that are requesting it are gonna be out of town, they're on vacation. So it won't get happen on the 6th.
And Joe's on vacation the next week, just so you know.
Okay, so there won't be a meeting until August.
Correct.
Correct.
All right, thanks for letting me know. I'll let the others know.
Okay, if you get a chance tomorrow morning, give me a call. I've got some information on, in my desk, Matt. And I'll give you the gal that I talked to's phone number.
Sure. Well, do you want to just give me a buzz? Have you got my cell phone number?
Okay, yeah, I've got yours. I'll give you a shout in the morning.
Okay.
All set, Matt?
You know, Mike, I'll email you my cell phone number just so you have it. Yep,
Sounds
all
good,
set.
man.
Thanks, Bruce. Sorry.
So do we need to
So
say anything on this?
I'm not in disagreement to having 2 hearings in one meeting. I just want to understand that what you're going to vote on is, are we getting paid per hearing or per meeting?
We're scheduling 2 separate meetings, each with 1 hearing, and you would get
You get
paid for
hearing.
each one.
Yeah, put them all on one night. I'd rather
So-
have them on one night than
I don't-
come back. And
So
that puts everybody, as quick as possible. I just don't feel that doing twice the work and getting paid for one, that is my whole issue. That's in all respect to the board. I try to understand your thinking. I try to understand the minutes and the video, because every law can be interpreted in whichever way that you want it to go. A good lawyer can get O.J. Simpson off for murder. So I'm just trying to understand you, and I hope you try to understand me. I'm not personally against anyone. I don't want to ruin friendships. I just bring it to the board because I can't fix things over the phone with my coworkers. Thank you.
okay, I don't think it's gonna be a problem because
So we want to just say you're getting paid per hearing.
$60 per hearing.
Okay, just keep it simple.
Yeah.
you know?
I
Like,
said meeting because we were gonna break them all up.
yeah,
It was
So we're gonna
easier to
say-
hearing, just say,
So the minutes stand as they read.
Correct.
So what you need to do is make a motion that when multiple meetings are needed, they will be scheduled on the same evening with X amount of minutes apart or something like that. Right?
Sure.
Or do you want them on separate days, or do you want
No,
them
same day's fine.
separate years?
So Angie, do you have to make the motion or is this just
No.
adding on to this motion?
No, because.
No, it has nothing to do with that motion.
Okay.
We're just gonna clarify the situation, the motion or whatever's in there is in there. That's history unless we change it.
Hey, Mike.
But what we have to settle is how we're gonna deal with multiple cases.
So I'll make a
The
motion
one in May.
that we pay the
table,
ZBA members
And then a new one.
per meeting
It was tabled till May.
to have
Okay.
one hearing per meeting.
If you start over, I can't hear you.
Okay,
Yep.
what are we
Same thing we have, right? ZBA members are to be paid per meeting, one hearing per meeting, and when possible, or when needed, we can schedule 2 or 3 meetings in one night or one meeting.
We can even mention these
And they get
minutes.
paid
We could say
per-
to clarify this, you know, the meetings from February.
If you want to put, tabled meetings will not be paid twice.
Okay.
And we could even
So-
reference this motion
so-
too in the February.
I don't
22,
think,
you
because
know.
now we're kind of changing it. ZBA will get paid per meeting, one hearing per
Per
meeting,
meeting.
multiple meetings per night if necessary.
Multiple hearings. Per
Well,
meeting.
no, because we're paying them per meeting, so you have to say per meeting.
Okay.
Or else we change the whole thing and just
So,
say they get paid
per
per
meeting,
hearing.
one case per meeting.
And tabled hearings are tabled hearings do not get paid twice.
You're getting paid per hearing, not per meeting.
We're talking. So tabled meetings do not get paid twice. And if multiple meetings,
If necessary.
if multiple hearings.
One hearing per meeting. Multiple meetings.
Multiple
on the same
meetings
night.
if
We'll
necessary.
be going over this tonight, like.
Multiple
Hearings and
meetings,
meetings and.
multiple
If
meetings if
multiple
necessary with somehow we have to put that time break in there so that somebody can.
Multiple hearings,
If multiple meeting or
Meeting.
multiple hearings are necessary. They will
On the same night, same
Be-
meeting.
necessary,
on the same night.
same night, 15-minute break.
15 minutes apart,
Break.
not a break,
Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
15
Smoke break.
15 minutes apart.
Sorry, 15 minutes apart.
Did somebody make that motion?
It was a group effort.
All right, so we'll get paid per meeting, one case per meeting. Tabled hearings do not get paid twice. If multiple hearings necessary, they will be paid on the same, or they will be on the same night, 15 minutes apart. That's what I got.
Brett, did you make that motion?
I mean,
You
Okay.
didn't mention if they're gonna get paid for multiple hearings for.
No, we
each
did
multiple
already.
hearing.
That's part of the first
That's part of
motion.
it. That's part of it.
Yeah.
they only
And
get paid for one hearing and one meeting. So they can have multiple meetings in one night. One hearing, one meeting, one. hearing,
just
one meeting.
reference these minutes when you write the
Okay.
minutes, just
I'm
say,
not going to.
you're not gonna
Right,
reference
so-
February
No,
8th.
They're
If
changing
multiple
stuff.
hearings are
But
necessary.
it's not talking about pay at all.
They will be same night, 15
That's
minutes
what
apart.
Mike's worried about. It's not
separate
worried, talking about pay.
Correct.
No,
I'm sorry, Brett, can you say
ZBA
that
will
one
be
more time?
paid Per meeting. That's what.
All right, ship. We'll get paid per meeting, one case per meeting, tabled hearings do not get paid twice. If multiple hearings are necessary, they will be paid. Or they will be on the same night, 15 minutes apart, set as a separate meeting.
You're still not addressing hearing pay.
Yes, we
And
did.
we just did.
Yes, we did.
You're getting paid,
per meeting.
Okay.
one meeting is one hearing.
Who-
If there's two, it's two meetings.
Brett made the
get paid twice.
motion.
All right,
Who's supporting?
I'll support.
We'll just talk about it next year too.
Please don't.
The year after that will be.
What in the heck were we talking about last year?
all right, Keelman,
Yes,
Berenger,
No.
Dudek,
Yes,
Duncan,
No,
Christie. Yeah. So it carries. I don't like it, but it carries.
moving on.
No, we're not moving on.
Oh, okay.
No.
Not to the next item?
Oh, yeah, he said after we were done, he had something more to say.
Oh, okay, sorry.
No, now, I think we need to raise the price to $500 on.
Oh,
I agree. I agree. I brought that to the board a while ago because of that. It's, Mike and I just figured it out that other day. It's very costly and it's costing, if we don't raise the fees.
Well, it shouldn't be up to the residents to pay for somebody that doesn't want to follow the rules
Yeah, exactly.
and get a
So,
variance.
so you're asking for a variance and Mike's got to pay out of his taxpayer dollars to make up the difference. That's
All
not.
right, so
I agree.
that's what I say, so.
So I'll make a motion to raise the ZBA fee to 500, you said, Bruce?
Yep.
Cover the cost of expenses.
this is another scenario where the planning commission should have looked at changing the setbacks.
well, that's what they say. If you keep getting the same ones, then
Then you should.
then we're wrong, then we're wrong on our,
But we did do
on our rules,
that.
you know.
You guys
And
did.
they snubbed it.
Oh, but you did on the ag and open space. You reduced it smaller lots from 75 to,
We got a lot of weird parcels,
you know.
a lot of gas pipes, we got a lot of, drains and.
Yeah, because remember Roland always said, so you got 300 feet of proper frontage, but you've got a 75-foot setback. So you really only have 150 feet to work with.
Well, Paul, it's this
Their
month,
second,
same thing, it's just brutal.
Did anybody support it?
not so far.
I thought you did, didn't you?
No, she made the motion.
I made the motion.
I'll second the motion.
Now, any more discussion on that?
Starting active now, right? Well, because you know,
Well, effective
Yeah.
July 1st, it'll have. to
That's
be.
my next question.
Yeah, I have to be
exactly,
active.
yeah, like
So
whenever,
you have till the 28th to get another one in
Oh.
July, and you're gonna charge one 500 and another one 350 in the event.
Effective July 1st.
effective July 1st,
Make
okay.
it. 1st of August, which you already have, we're into July already, I would make it starting in August.
No, because once they come in July. it's gonna
Starting
be-
by people that apply July 1st
Yeah.
on. So they're not gonna get on until
Yeah,
August.
you can do it that way, yeah, okay.
They wouldn't get on until August anyhow.
All right, I'll make it effective July 1st.
Yeah.
Gotta always remember that. We always forget that sometimes.
Okay, Duncan,
Yes,
Keelman,
No,
Berenger,
Yes.
Dudek,
no,
Christie, yes. Carried. Next. Casco street lighting. We go again.
is this every year or every other?
Oh, every month.
I don't know, I honestly was shocked that he came up with this.
They hit
Because,
us with this before, haven't
well, Bill Rumenap used to bug me.
they? He must
all
have
the
found this
time
in his
about
file
this.
cabinet then. He's like, oh, wait a minute,
He kept on me about this, and how many times did I bring it to the board?
a lot.
And then when Joe brought it up the other, like a month or two ago, I was like, what?
It's not a lot though,
No,
but they have a huge bill. I
Yeah,
do,
but
I
look
do
at how
see why
many-
they
They have a
want.
lot of lights.
Yeah, they have a lot of lights. They're on Meisner Road. They're, St. Clair Highway, so they've got.
And so obviously it's gonna change sometimes too, wouldn't it, you
How
know?
did this get,
it's gonna change with the cost of electric.
So how are we gonna? how do
it
we-
won't, it'll all be fuzzy.
Yeah,
Well, kind of like the one that he's got Mark Palms and Division. Confirmed by DTE Community Lighting. That you that wrote that, or is that, did you give
I
that?
didn't write any of that.
Yeah, that's unknown is what the title.
Yeah.
Sure it is.
but it really isn't that much money.
But
out
how
of
do
our
we
pocket.
know, like, why are they paying for these from the beginning?
But I
They
guess,
request-
They installed them.
Well, let them eat it then.
This
I would
is,
say, but that would be like us asking some adjoining community because we're, like Mayor Road, if we have a light, are we gonna ask St. Clair Township to start paying part of our electric bill for the street light?
No,
No, we don't
Right.
do that. It's kind of like the roads.
yeah, that's what we've said in the past is no. And I don't
Like,
know why we
we
would.
do the carpool thing, but that's, everybody goes to that, not just Columbus Township people.
Right.
But I mean, honestly, if they want this money, if they're gonna get off our back about this, then I mean, I don't have a
They
problem
don't
with
bother
paying
me
that
if
much.
they call and complain
You
that
know-
they want $16.
To me, I don't see just to pay it and get it over with, but I just don't see how the checks and balances on it,
Because next month it could be $20.
Exactly. Yeah, that's the only thing. It's just kind of like. I just don't see where that would be.
and not, yes, sir.
Mitch, I have a question on the, what is the cost of a light for an intersection? Just the light, identify the intersection.
The ones that he's saying here are 16 something a month.
16?
$16. Yep.
$51 a month.
I'd like to have us put on one at Croner Road and Gratiot. I lost 2 cars there, making a left-hand turn and lost.
16.51 per month.
Francis was killed there and it was like 12 people went to the hospital, 3-car accident. He was killed and both my daughters.
At what, Croner and Gratiot, you
Yeah,
said?
making that left-hand turn.
That is a bad, that is, there was
They just
just
had
one
one
there.
last week
I was
again.
just gonna say, there was just one there last week.
Yeah, and you're sitting there innocently. I'm always watching my mirror and tell the kids and relatives, keep your steering wheel straight. You should get rear-ended. And I've had a motorcycle wasn't paying attention, come almost hit me in the bumper, but that's during daylight. I imagine it's worse at night. But back there is a tough corner for the people just aren't paying attention. You're sitting there waiting and. Oh, I made it.
The shoulder's real bad there too. It's giant potholes, because one time I had to go around.
Enough people go around, there's a manhole there.
Yep, you regret it. If
Yeah.
somebody goes, they know
Between
it.
the guardrail and the shoulder's pothole. For 16, I think that's a nice price for safety.
Well, that's not counting installation.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's just a monthly fee.
Ours went up,
Our
So-
streetlights have gone up quite a lot.
I'll make a motion on this one, not to pay this bill. And not participate.
I'll support that.
So not enter into an agreement, correct?
Give him Brett and Stan's phone number.
Yeah, Bill Rumenap used to call me all the time.
Oh, really? He called me one time. I forgot what about. It was something.
You did?
Yeah.
Yes,
Duncan,
No.
Gilman,
Yes.
Berenger,
Yes.
Christie, yes. Carrie.
How do we look into streetlights like for Croner and Gratiot? Do we just,
I'm just thinking the same thing.
yeah, like what is the
lighting.
first step? Okay.
Can we get a bid? To put
Can't
a
we
light
just use
there?
that same guy that's doing the park?
I don't know, we paid 26,000 and they've done 0 at the park for those streetlights.
We're thinking about it.
And we didn't have that.
COVID,
It rained.
there's a lot of actors involved.
Dry and now it rains.
So,
And I highly doubt they. changed it
Mosquitoes,
to the
you know.
LED ones that we paid for also.
That's a good point too, because that would have lowered our
Yeah,
bill for sure.
we
Because
paid-
that was the whole point of
Yeah,
getting
they'll
it,
pay
yeah.
for the LED.
So, yeah, we can just
Can you
call,
get that guy to get a quote
I can call it.
and ask him what's going on with us?
Yeah,
Forget about me?
could do that. All right, next, unless you guys are done?
Yeah, I'm done. I'm just,
All right, uncashed checks under $25. I don't understand that one, so.
okay, so I pursue uncashed checks a lot, a lot of these ones are just from, refunds for people's property taxes if they overpay.
So why is it $25?
Because the state of Michigan, to send that to the unclaimed property, they usually want it over $25. Wes says he doesn't think they would accept any money over 20, they won't accept money under $25.
Oh, so
To be sent to
all
unclaimed
right.
property.
So them you just send off.
If it was over 25, I would send it up to unclaimed property. I had to do it one time for one bond. Most of the time people will cash it besides these little lingering ones, so he said that once again, it is their right to have their money. So if, Joe Schmo came and said, hey, I want that $1.53, then they need to come to me and we would pay them the $1.53. I send them the correct, I send them notices of this and that, but they don't do anything about it.
$1.63.
Okay, so on top of that, he didn't tell me that I had to bring it to the board. He said, just make sure you keep track of it. So I've been keeping track of it. There's only been a few of them, and they're just taxes for people that overpaid, they send me like a whole amount, and I send a check to them, letter, and they just never catch it. So I kept proper accounting. And then this, Rob, Cohen one came up. It was, $2 for overpayment of building fee. And we reissued the check, $2, and it still hasn't been cashed. So I need board approval to put it on the list. And if he wants to come get his $2, he can come to us and get $2, but I'm not gonna be reissuing a third check of $2.
And so you want this policy?
So instead of me bringing each one to the board, just to kind of have it, so it's not all, oh, I'm gonna put this $1.63, this, $2, here, there, I don't usually get them, because I'm on them usually, so. But there was just these old ones that they haven't done,
Okay,
but
so-
this one, I would like to add Rob Cohen to the list for the $2, because I don't seem it right to do another check and he's not gonna cash it again. So I need a resolution to say I can do this.
Resolution or a motion?
Resolution 6/123.
We're so professional.
Oh, wow.
So, yes,
So who
and,
wants to make that?
okay.
And then this is the policy.
And that, if that's good enough, I don't know if you guys want to, I kind of just went off
That's
whatever,
Great.
just out to
Can
keep
you
bringing
write
them.
Up like a resolution that,
I wrote right here.
oh, that.
No, she just wrote that.
Yeah, just the things I don't have to bring
Do
each
I not
one.
have that paper?
It's right there. I can see
Oh,
it.
You want to put all the whereases and wherefores?
Well, that's what I want to know.
Go right.
I mean, or you guys can do whatever you want, he just said to just bring it to you guys, just so I have to bring each one to the board, but once again, I didn't know I had to bring them to the board, so.
Okay, so who wants to make that?
He's gonna make it.
Phoebe?
Oh, okay. I'd like to make a motion to have a resolution 6/123 to allow treasurer to deposit uncashed checks under $25 into the general fund account. It's all, I'm
It's all
reading
written
this.
down.
Okay, but I'm not gonna write that. We want resolution 6/123 for treasurer to deposit unclaimed checks.
No, I want this set.
No.
I want this set.
You don't understand. I'm gonna write a real resolution up and put it in the book.
Okay. I want this in my motion.
She wants it to say that.
Oh, okay.
I want that in my motion.
Okay.
Yeah, so I need all that to be said in there. I'm keeping track, and if they want the money, they can come.
So do you need me to actually write up an actual motion, or is this good enough?
To me, I want this said,
Okay,
unless anybody wants to add anything to it.
well,
So
I'll have to redo this so I can put up there like.
whatever you want, yeah, whatever you
You
see
can
fit.
do it.
Just so you know, that Fern lady passed away quite a while ago.
Okay, so that would
She's
make
having
sense.
a
That would make
second.
sense,
I'll second.
Dudek,
Yes.
Berenger,
Yes,
Christie, yes. Gilman,
Yes.
Duncan,
Oh, yes, sorry.
carried. All right, Brady Business Systems. So that fine machine that we have in the other room called our copier is officially obsolete on June 9th of this year. They can no longer service it.
Wow, I like that copier. Oh,
But it's going. That copier is going. We're already on borrowed time because it's after June 9th.
so what happens to it? Do they take it back?
They're taking it
Oh,
back.
okay.
So
Huh,
they gave us two quotes. One's for a black and white copier at $139 a month for 63 months, or $171 a month for a full color one.
wow. What did we pay before?
Not that much.
What? That's,
Cause think about it, 170.
and we didn't pay monthly, we paid like a lump.
Do they supply the ink cartridge?
They do everything.
Paper?
Yeah,
Yes, not
they do all-
paper, not paper.
Not paper, but they make,
The colored ink cartridges are pretty expensive, aren't they?
Yeah, they
Oh,
are.
yeah.
Yeah, except
that's why
that,
it costs more.
yeah, except that I have a color printer and Bruce has a color printer. So do we need a third color printer is what I'm wondering. And then they charge you, you get so many copies. See, you only get 100 copies in color.
Yeah, the
So
other ones
anything
too.
after that,
Oh,
8 cents a copy. So do we really need that? I mean, Phoebe, if she has to print in colors, it just prints to my.
Me,
printer.
I like to stick to black and white because
Does,
I want it to work fast and work good and
who
do
would
it right.
be using color, like Tracy or something?
Very seldom.
Bill?
Bruce uses color sometimes.
Color coding,
If anybody that colors, then you should just use
Or is
somebody
he
else's color.
running
printer.
all his pictures through there from code enforcement with.
Mhm. Justin's is colored. Isn't it?
Oh,
It's your old one, yeah.
Justin's is.
So we have 3 colored
When you
printers.
scan
already.
something in, you're not wasting any ink.
Yeah.
It scans it in color.
To me, I think we should stick to black and white because we want that thing to work fast and good and I don't, to me, I'd rather
And
not
you
stick to
also get,
colored.
look at that, you get 2,500 and.
Yeah, I would-
Copies in black and white. If we get the more expensive one, it's only 1,900.
Okay, motion,
I'll make a motion to,
To get
To
the
lease
black
the-
and white copy
the
machine.
customer proposal for the black and white,
so we're leasing the black and white
yeah.
at $139 a month. Right?
A monthly fee, that's surprising.
Yeah, last time we paid a lump sum.
Is it a dollar buyout at the end?
Pardon?
What do they do with the copier when they're done with it?
I can ask them, why do you want it?
No, I'm just curious, because normally on one of these leases, it would have like a dollar buyout at the end.
Yeah, we've
Oh, I
had
see
it
what you're saying, yeah.
forever, yeah.
And it probably does, but they just told me it wasn't supported anymore.
That's how they sell you a new one.
Well, because I said, well, we'll just keep this one and go on a month to month until it breaks
5
down.
pages a
Right.
minute.
And she said, you
What?
can't do
5
that.
pages in a minute it can do.
Oh, wow. Oh, wow.
You'll have your tax.
Laid
bill
that
down
one away.
3
No, I'm
minutes.
still gonna
Make
use
that
my,
motion.
I like, yeah, I know, I still don't trust that. I like my printer.
I'll support.
That is cool though.
Yeah. Everything is. Or when I print.
Okay, Kilman,
Yes.
Bruce is
Christie,
paying.
yes. Berenger,
Yes.
Dudek,
Yes.
Duncan,
Yes.
Carrie,
Who seconded the motion? I'm sorry.
Dudek.
And did, okay.
So we're getting the
Black and white.
black and white. Okay. Next is a resolution to oppose current camp grailing use of state
This is
land.
what I want it to look like, Phoebe.
So
Hmm.
Yours. Just put it, and then I put it in the
I
binder.
did good on
Yeah.
I could retype it if you want,
So-
or just,
that. Anyhow,
I don't think I saved
Camp-
it, yeah.
Oh,
Camp Grayling wants to use 52,000 acres of state land to practice blowing up stuff and whatever they do, Camp Grayling guys, for training. We think, we as in other townships, and supervisors that were talking about this and, the county came up with this resolution. And, so what they want us to do is if we're in favor of, opposing it, then we would pass this resolution and our illustrious clerk would send this on to our elected officials and one to the county. So we're forwarding copy to Shannon Lott, Director of Michigan Department of Natural Resources, State Senator, State Representative, Gretchen Whitmore, and our county commissioners. It doesn't say that in here, but that's where this originated, so I think they should get one back.
Yes, that's-
So right now, they have legally 230 square miles
Yeah,
and they want to expand it?
yeah.
Why? Is there something that they need to test, that they need a bigger area? Why are they,
I don't think it's.
why are they requesting?
I watched something about this on TV. I think they used it for, training.
For training, right?
Yeah, but I don't know, are they testing? I think they're.
No, they're not using it for testing. They're using it, they want to use state land for training.
Because
For
they say it's poisoning.
cyber and electronic
Water.
warfare training technologies. Up to 600 soldiers and affiliated partner members. And I don't think it's a good idea to let them use state land for training and, I mean, are they gonna take good care of it or are they gonna tear it up? You know, who knows? But let them use their own land. They already got enough land.
I wish I had more information on why they need to go into virgin land.
Yeah.
Maybe there might be a reason. Not understanding their military capabilities, it's kind of vague.
It is. How soon do they have to have this? I mean, is there some where we can get some more information?
Yeah, I'm just going along with this with not knowing why. I have a hard time if I knew why. But I'd like to have an explanation from the military why they need this extra area to do. Is it beneficial for, our own security? Why they want to go into, a larger area or?
I'm trying to think where I watched something about that. I think it might have been Michigan Out of Doors.
Hmm,
I think they're just saying because there's no repercussions for it and there's no. I don't know.
I
It's just, it's
understand
not-
though. I'm not
Yeah.
exactly.
That's what this says at
understanding
least, you know.
all of it, so I get what he's saying. And is it for year-round use or is it just a certain amount of the year? Like when they, because Camp Grayling, didn't that used to be like the guys who were National Guard
right.
training?
They call them weekend
Right.
warriors.
So if they're doing that, would that training be only for those 2 weeks out of the year? Because that's what they usually would do, a 2-week stint.
I guess have to deal with a lot with pollution. I keep saying in the second page, it's all about pollution of the lakes and the water. And maybe it's just not monitored correct, they don't feel like it's monitored correctly, maybe. Have with the environment.
Just nowadays, people will fly off the hatchet about stuff, but there may be a reason why they.
Well, this says, Camp Grayling proposal, April 2023 update. Following a lengthy community input process and department review, the DNR has declined a proposed 20-year lease of approximately 162,000 acres of state forest land to the Department of Military and Veterans Affairs. The DMVA had sought to lease the land located around the National Guard training camp in Grayling to accommodate low-impact military training activities. This review of the DMVA's request found that most of the proposed lands were ineligible for such a lease because they are within buffer zones around bodies of water or were purchased with funds that prohibit activities planned by the National Guard. The remaining land, which is what this is for, approximately 52,000 acres, could be available to the DMVA for short-term, low-impact training activities. The DMVA may apply for limited land use permits to conduct exercises on up to 52,000 acres of eligible land. No lease. Annually apply for the land use permits. Could occur on 52,000 acres. buffer zones around inland lakes and designed or designated trout streams where no military activity could take place was doubled by DNR from 1,500 feet in the initial proposal to 3,000 feet in the memorandum of understanding. No live fire or use of tanks on these lands, no permanent fencing or structures. It doesn't say what they're using it for though.
Hmm.
Did you say at the beginning that they already denied them?
They denied the 162,000 acres,
Oh, okay.
but they still have access for 52,000. It's a small little chunk of land, it's just tiny.
Hmm. I don't know. I see both sides,
Yeah.
you know, 'cause my grandpa, he was a, you know. Part of this, yeah,
Well, here, this is
you know, so I
a
mean,
little blue.
for the National Guard, you know, I mean, they gotta
These
train
little blue
somewhere, but I don't,
Uh-huh.
Are the
I don't
ones they
know.
would use.
Yeah, I know. They-
Oh, okay.
So it's not like it's all next to Grayling. It's like all spread out weird.
So it's not one big parcel.
Yeah, I
It's
thought it would be
multiple
like
parcels.
around Grayling. Why would they need all those weird little chunks?
'Cause that's what state owned.
Oh, maybe. Yeah, maybe that's all DNR land. Or far enough away from water, they can use it.
I know you gotta be careful when you go up and walk like the Pierre Marquette River. Private to versus state owned.
Can we just not act on it? Bruce, what do you think?
You can just not act.
Okay. Do you have any more information? Did it just get sent to you? Or how did you find out about this?
Through, Dieter. So what's the plan?
Find anything I can. I don't understand what they're using it for.
Oh.
Everything's back in like April. I don't know. Nothing new.
Oh, Bill Dieter gave it to you? Oh, really? Okay. See, and I trust what he's, you know,
Why isn't he the MTA president? Did he step down or did he get voted on?
His term's out.
okay. Well, I do,
That's how they do it. The MTA at the end of your career, kind of, there's certain ones that can run for the president. After you serve for the president, then you're allowed to spend 3 years or 5 years, something like on an advisory board,
Mhm.
and then they put you out to pasture.
hmm,
I saw in the magazine that there's a woman there now.
Mhm.
I don't know.
I don't know, cause I do trust him a lot, you
I'm a
know.
little bit. I have a different opinion of the DNR in Michigan because they can't even manage the deer herd properly. Yet alone, why are they denying the military access to do training? I understand that it's state land, but if they're not gonna do any damage to it, well, I don't understand it. I don't wanna deprive the military from doing
Exactly.
training.
Yeah,
Oh, here you go. The military said the additional space would be used for drone operations, cyber, electronic warfare, space and communication system installation and operation. No live fire would be directed toward the new areas. Cross-country skiing, that kind of stuff.
I'll make a motion that we don't act on this. That we just don't act on it.
I'll support that.
Okay, Berenger,
If I say yes, that means I agree not to act, correct?
correct.
I had to think how I say it. It's
Yes,
like the
no.
ZBA.
Yes
If I
and
vote
no.
yes, I vote no.
Yes.
Dudek,
Yes.
Duncan?
Yes.
Christie, no. Carried. Okay. Now what's with this form? I know,
We've always signed it in the past, you and I, Bruce, but
Correct.
apparently we found out that we're supposed to. bring it
Angie read in the
to-
MTA magazine,
Yeah,
you're supposed to bring it to the board.
right, I've known for years you were supposed to bring it.
So why didn't you tell us?
But we never have.
No, and I.
And that's
never
what we
knew.
didn't, I
It
didn't
always
know.
was laying on my desk and I signed it.
Yeah,
Because
it
when-
doesn't
because
change,
Steph
you
would
know.
give it to me and say, sign this,
Yeah.
and before that, Pat would sign it. And then when I was reading, I said, oh, crap.
So we need to
Yeah, I
make
read that a
sure.
long time ago.
Yeah.
You should see, I didn't know. So if you guys want to sign this one, once we approve it, just
Okay.
so I can give it to
So
them,
that-
because it's very
That's
easy.
the total value of the real estate in Columbus. 237 million.
Yeah. And you thought you were poor.
Hmm.
All right, is there a motion on this?
I'll make a motion to approve the 2023. Can I?
Yeah.
Yeah, oh
Tax
yeah,
rate.
yeah. I'll second.
Christie, yes. Duncan,
Yes.
Dudek,
Yes.
Gilman,
Yes.
Berenger,
Yes.
carried.
So you guys can sign it. That's wants it back right away. He's antsy about it.
Wait,
What do
yeah,
I-
you've been asking us
What do I call myself, the chairperson?
Oh, no, I got this one right here.
Yeah.
If you signing it first. So that one you can have for your stuff. You know,
Must be
for your
submitted by
packet.
September of 23.
Pardon?
Must be submitted by September of 23.
But he
Apparently
usually,
he's in a hurry.
he just wants to make sure he does it.
He must
I
get
think
the
that's what it is.
Actually,
All right.
Usually they do it in June and July,
You
so.
can start talking about positive pay, because I don't even know what that is.
Okay, so at our, when I went to the board meeting at the county board, whatever you call it, like a county meeting way back, they brought up positive pay. And I'm, I don't care what we do. I'm on the fence and I figured I'd bring it to the board. It's pretty much. So there's a lot of fraud, obviously, going out. So whenever we write a check or like the groups of checks, I would send a file to the bank. And the bank, if there's any discrepancies, any kind of check that tries to, go through with a wrong name, wrong amount, wrong something, they would deny it before, in case it's fraud most of the time. So it's just like a double check system. But on the other hand, it costs $25 per month per account. I can stop it when I want. I can, continue it when I want. I know the county says that they do it. I know they said another municipality, they all said that they love it and it's a good, safeguard for the township, especially when we're writing huge checks out, because I guess they're getting a lot of fraud, obviously through the bank and all that. So it's whatever, yes.
My question is, you send them a file and now I go to the bank, but I don't go to the bank that the check is written on. I cash my check at a different bank. How is that gonna be caught if I'm cashing somebody else's check? You know what I'm saying? How do they catch the fraud? Because you're sending it to our bank, First State. But my bank is a different bank, so I could fraudulently cash. a check
Because
at
it's
my
gonna
bank.
it's gonna cash through our bank though.
Right, but at
know.
the time I go and cash a check.
They can, whatever the procedure of
I
a
don't-
bank
I don't
is.
think they cross-reference it with the bank that the check.
Our
is
bank
written
would cross-reference it
So
before it
isn't
goes
this what
cash.
we already do?
Well, that's what I'm thinking. Why do we gotta pay them to do their job?
No, this is what we already do.
What do we do?
We already verify every check that goes in and out of here.
Yes, but it's before it was cashed. They would stop it before it's cashed, because she was saying too, it can take forever to get, like, she said she just had one a little bit ago. It's like $6,000. She said the new thing they do is they'll take it from your mail and they'll change just a name on it. So, or they'll change it just a little bit, but the problem is getting the money back from the next bank. I'm trying to go to, Huntington, like, hey, give me my money, you cashed it wrong, and Huntington drags their feet. she says it takes, they have to respond within like, I don't know, like 3 months. And they respond on the last day, because they don't want to give up that money that they just gave out. So they'll respond on the last day, and then there's the second step, and then they'll respond on the last day. So she said it takes a long time to get the money back. Because, you know, the other bank that, you know, paid it out, it's cash, you know, dragging their feet on it. So whatever you guys think on it, you know, I just figured I'd bring it to the board, yes or no, whatever you guys think, but you know. But it's a good, we do have a lot of, we do all paper checks. So there is that, you know, with the mail and all that of room for.
Yeah, I would think that online banking would be more susceptible to
Yeah, I think you're right.
having a fraud issue than, you know, writing real checks.
Yeah, I don't.
It's whatever you guys think. I just figured I'd bring it to you guys and. But she said another township was doing it. I know the county highly recommended it, so.
What's the name of this company that is Positive Pay? Who owns it?
Well, I do it through, it's called, the process is called like Positive
Right
Pay.
through First State.
So it's through First State Bank. That we
Another
do it.
way they can make a little extra.
That's what I thought. What-
Yeah,
What
and I'm saying that,
what county commissioners are involved in this?
Yeah, no, it's just another First State bank.
you know,
they can
so
get
it's, yes, everything costs money, you know, but
for. We've never had a check yet that's somebody's fraud.
not gonna lie. So-
But to me, I don't think it's that big a deal.
All right, we can just move on, no action taken on it, that's no big deal. Yeah.
So file it, you know, in case it comes up again.
Yep. Just crossed it off my list, so I wanna,
All right, county park millage.
yep, so
I
same
added
old,
a
same
couple
old,
papers in here just for more information. That was nice of you, wasn't it?
you did what?
I said I added a couple pages like the letter and then that.
Oh, you added the whole shebang, I don't remember what I gave you.
These last few.
Oh, I did the last two, okay, sorry. But yeah, I'm gonna, which one was it? Oh, I think I usually sign this one, I don't know,
Yeah,
yeah,
I
I
do
usually
too.
sign this, so, sorry, I just need the date. And then I'll need the minutes for once it's approved, and I need to know if we're changing any statement on it, usually we do for the,
For county. or for
Yeah.
So
the Roadside park.
yeah,
you have to put a brief description of what we're spending. it
we were
on.
just saying that,
Yeah,
yeah.
oh, I'm sorry.
Yep.
I was just reading.
Yeah, it was for
Thank
the, I could just copy the statement we did last time, but it was for, I don't remember, my mind's getting tired,
For upgrade.
the upgrading, yeah, that was, and for the, yeah. So I'll just copy that sentence.
I'll make a motion to approve the county park distribution. Park distribution.
Second.
I'll second it.
And can you just say to be used for the Columbus County Park, at least kind of mention that, because they are
Okay.
gonna look at our minutes
Okay, to
too.
be used for the Bell River roadside park.
And who seconded it? Did
I did.
Brad did, okay.
You want me to say like for upgrades to the Bell River?
Well, it could be upkeep too, you know,
Okay.
so it's not always upgrades.
Just used for Bell
Use,
River.
yep, and I'll copy the sentence, so it's usually
Okay.
like maintenance and whatever in the. Yes. I'll look at the last year's,
Hey, Christie, yes. Duncan,
yes,
Berenger,
Yes.
okay,
Yes.
Gilman,
Yes.
anything else?
Any updates on broadband?
The county is in. We had a meeting, I don't know, a few months ago where. They were trying to pit us all against one another to make everybody file for these grants that are available. And I talked to them at the time about why don't we all band together and let the county do the
Countywide, right?
yeah, so now the county is in process of picking a provider to represent the county to deal with. That's where it's at. I wrote a letter for Ray Signs. Bill
Oh.
Dinger did.
Okay, you should have brought it to the board so we could
Steve
say the whole
Pasco
board,
did.
for him.
Saying you suggested that if the county applied for the grant, I want to put it in here.
Yeah, instead of all the separate entities. And
Let's get it
Georgia
started.
was at that meeting, and so
Skip it.
she thought that was a good idea that they all get together. Anyhow, they've been working on it. But it's. From what I heard from Jeff Bohm, it sounds like they're not gonna pick Ray Signs.
That stinks.
Yeah, he's already in the area. You'd think.
So they designated what they're gonna do with the county's ARPA money?
No. They haven't decided yet.
Not broadband.
They're too busy fighting.
Huh?
Not broadband.
They're too busy
Unless one of
fighting
them
it.
opens their own broadband,
Yeah, they're still fighting about
They're
it.
so physically fighting.
right? Yeah, when one of them opens a broadband company, that's where the ARPA money is gonna go.
Yeah. Oh, let me develop 26 Mile Road. I'm gonna have a broadband cover.
Yeah, absolutely.
Karen?
I'll make
Need
a
a-
motion to adjourn.
Oh, and we need to look for a maintenance guy,
Yes, we do.
so
Oh,
put that out there.
To adjourn. Stan?
hey,
Question for
And
you.
it-
Are we gonna upgrade our percentage of the chloride if we ever get chloride on the road?
Yeah.
The percentage,
Yes, I've already talked to them about that.
what did we have last year for percentage?
I don't know.
Do they give us an
The same
option?
day they scraped it, it was done by.
I know, and I've already talked to them about that. I didn't know there was a higher concentration
Yeah,
available.
Yeah,
yeah.
Casco goes higher.
Yeah, and I told them, I said, we want
Casco's nice.
a higher concentration.
I think he used to offer.
they
it.
told us that it was not gonna be available. Remember at the
But
meeting?
yeah. There may not
Environmental.
be, there may not
Casco's
be.
already done, gravel's on the road and the roads are all chlorided. Church Road is ready for pavement, it is unbelievable.
No, I know
Buddy
Casco's
Cut and
done.
Lindsay are nice.
They got gravel?
Yeah, that's what he just said.
Wow.
It's absolutely smooth. You
Or
can
was
drive
it
over
graded, or was it just graded? They actually put gravel on the road?
Yeah, the gravel trucks have been flying.
Very nice.
Really? Then why did you say there was no gravel?
Problem
I
is,
called them, there's no gravel.
there's no gravel, right?
Might be this week, last week when I called, they said they're looking at another week before a ship comes in, the ships are behind.
Yep, and Bill Hazelton called
He
me
said
the other
we had
day
no
and said it
material
was
in the
supposed to be
yard.
this Friday. He said, forget that.
Yeah, I love that.
But,
Where they're fighting icebergs or something, right?
yeah, they're fighting icebergs.
It was a nice calm winter. They had no problem getting ships down and we're out of gravel again.
COVID killed them.
Yeah, exactly. Every year they've got some story.
Bench wire.
So I don't know why
I'm gonna just put that.
we got left out, because we approved our rocks right away. And we got it in there like quick. And
UPS driver said that Crota Road's the worst road he's on.
Croner's terrible.
Yeah. The bishops, they'll be in this corn, the sweet corn before long, they're going around the hole by Bishop.
Trying to get around it.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then but for the railroad tracks, it's got some holes, and then where Colts's the grandmother's house was, it's bad there also,
Hmm.
but it keeps traffic down.
I know.
Yeah, nobody's running through.
They run right through anyway.
You know what I-
Unbelievable.
So are we going to decide if they tell us they're definitely not dropping gravel, we still want to put chloride down
Yep,
because it's.
I've already
Wow, are you
talked to them
saying-
about that.
It's great.
What Ken was saying, the higher concentration level, I don't think they're gonna, according at the meeting, they're not gonna allow that environmentally anymore.
Well,
There was two.
they're talking about not allowing chloride at all anymore.
Oh, wow. Is there like another substance they can
No,
use?
they
you
want
know?
water.
Okay, like soapy water, something that would stick. You know, or something. I don't know, like, there's some other stuff. You know, sorry.
It sticks.
Yep.
Back to the old
I had to
school.
get it, but I don't know how much a gallon.
Back to the old school, man. Beat
Right.
chips. Rock those cars out right away.
My last
But don't you think in the old days, I remember my dad.
Oh my God.
That heat used to be really hard on electric vehicles. Or rot the battery.
All roads are made out of oil. One last thing, please. I would like to see with the park funds, there's quite a few people enjoying the park.
I know.
If you go by, There's just like
Absolutely.
3, 4 cars at a time. And
A
then
lot
there's
of people fishing, yeah.
It'd be nice, respect for the women, to have a portage on there that's fastened to, so they can't tip it over. You know, so if somebody wants to be
Might
destructive,
be into that there for a while.
have it.
Yeah, we,
molded, cemented,
we were looking
for
into that.
foundation, it doesn't pump out, but it's not fair to the women and the children, the girls, you know, because the men could sneak around because the park's big enough. It's done nicely.
So I'm looking into that kind of stuff and I have,
It's beautiful.
and I have some ideas, but the problem that I'm running into so far is even if you buy that stuff, somebody's got to install it. And
It has to be maintained.
well, you can't get people to work, you know? And
Yeah.
I wanna,
Maintenance
like
guy.
I talked about, let's put up a pavilion. Nobody will give you a price on it because nobody wants to do it because it's not a big job. Or if I,
It's a nice idea.
if I buy this, there's they call it a dry bathroom, but it's like a septic system buried in the ground. And then the thing mounts to it and it gets pumped out whenever it's full. And it doesn't have any running water, doesn't need any heat, you know what I mean? But it's not
Like
one
the
of them
state
little
parks.
plastic ones.
You know,
It's not one of them little plastic ones. but-
That's the only thing that looks like the park is needing.
So I mean,
Road in and out is nice. Yeah, the access to the
Yeah,
river.
and
is
it needs
nice.
another parking area further up the road, and it needs, you know, the trails need better aggregate on them. And if we ever got a maintenance guy, I'm thinking like we might need a DR mower to do on each side of the path. You know, just one strip on each side of the path, but it's not for lack of ideas, it's for lack of somebody that'll do the work. So I mean. The township has requirements of they gotta be certified and they gotta have insurance and they gotta. Whatever the rules are. I could find all kind of people that don't have that to do the work. You know? But the people that actually have a real company and are a real builder and all that. They're busy and they don't wanna do the little job.
Thank you.
Sure. So would there be a second on this adjournment?
Who made the motion?
I do that.
Okay.
I think Phoebe was second by about.
Did you second?
the second.
No, I think I just interrupted and said
Oh.
something. But that could be me seconding it. I'll second. You guys chose me.
So do I put 9:36 for dudek and 9:50?
Yeah.
Let's just make it 9:52, make it simple.
All in favor? Aye. Opposed?
That
Carried.
was a rougher meeting. Oh,
That was rough.
yeah.
See you guys around.
Oh.